Today's game on KFJB-TV is sponsored by First Rate Real Estate, Adland Engraving and Screen Print Company, Assured Partners, Brown's Shoe Fit, Central State Bank, your Marshalltown Dairy Queens, Eye Care Associates, Hy-Vee Marshalltown, Legends American Grill, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, Marshalltown School District, McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, Sandvik Enterprises, Scooters, Marshalltown, Sports Plus, State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency, Wayward Social, Wells Fargo Advisors. Bobcat Game Day Live. Down to the field with Brandon Lewis and Dylan Doze.
And on Bobcat Game Day Live, great to have you at Leonard Field. It is homecoming, a great night out here at Leonard Field. Looks like we are going to dodge the rain as well as Zach Tomesch alongside me, filling in for Dylan Doze. I'm Brandon Lewis. Great to have you along tonight. All right, it's homecoming. Had the parade on Wednesday. These are the fun games. I know the coaches hate them from a degree because there's a lot of distractions, but at the end of the day, this is supposed to be the biggest game of the year for you.
Yeah, when I was talking to Coach earlier this week, he said it's got to cap off with a win on Friday. That's what's going to make it special through the weekend, through the dance. But you're right, there is just an extra special feeling in the air tonight. It's homecoming. It's been a fun week. Yeah. Let's get her done.
And the Bobcats have something on the line here tonight. They're 2-0.
Yeah.
I obviously want to play well against a Mason City team who has a 3-game winning streak against them. And it's been really the success of special teams and one big play guy in Drew Hobart and his brother Cale Hobart over the years that have dominated this Bobcat squad. So, I mean, really, if you stop him, you kind of take away a lot of what Mason City wants to do, right?
Yeah, we've been, talking about it all week, the big play. But it comes down to controlling the line of scrimmage. That's what opens up those lanes for the big plays to pop. So, we'll look at the trenches tonight. The Bobcats have looked really good the last 2 weeks on the offensive line. Young last year, had some experience. Now this year it's starting to pay off a little bit.
Big thing for the Bobcats. Since 2019, they haven't started a season 3-0, and the Bobcats could do that here tonight. I think that would help boost momentum. I mean, I feel like there's already a lot of positivity for this team right now, but what would that spur you to, right? Going 3-0 to start the year.
Well, confidence is everything, right? And if you believe that you can do it, the mind is a powerful thing, and I think the Bobcats might upset some people then late in the year.
I just hope that it's a better time with Zach on the mic than it was 2 years ago when I was on vacation in Colorado and the Bobcats got destroyed by Newton.
Yeah, we don't want a repeat of that. It should be a fun game. It was close last year. So
I'm hoping you bring better luck this time.
I'm excited for a Bobcat win. That's what we're hoping for.
Coming up, we preview East Marshall and West Marshall as Bobcat Game Day Live continues right here on KFJB-TV.
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East Southridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
Bobcat Game Day Live.
Back in on Bobcat Live here at Leonard Field. It is homecoming as Mason City behind us getting warmed up. We preview East Marshall here tonight, all brought to you by Sheer Envy and Gilman. If you're looking for a hometown salon that does it all, from haircuts to color, nails, and more, Sheer Envy and Gilman has you covered. Well, the East Marshall Mustangs 2-0 on the season, feeling pretty good heading into tonight.
Yeah, it's the battle of the undefeated tonight as East Marshall will take on Northland at Northland. The Mustangs coming off a 21-16 win over Eddiesville, Blakesburg, Fremont last week. It's kind of all been on the back of their quarterback, Jackson Boswell, as he's got 306 yards passing, 4 touchdowns on the year, but he's got another 137 on the ground and another 4 touchdowns on the ground as well. So,
yeah, I saw Bound Iowa was giving him some love this week, and I saw he was top 5 in their class in a couple different categories. So, yeah, playing well right now.
Yeah, but he's got 2 receivers, 2 that have 9 receptions on the year. We got a senior, Blake Newroth. He's got 9 receptions, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Eli Burns, the junior, as well, 9 receptions, 104 yards and a touchdown. Then on that defense, they've got defensive lineman Wyatt Stalzer, 15 tackles, 2 sacks, 7.5 tackles for a loss.
Wow.
Half of his tackles have been for a loss this year. That's
pretty impressive.
Pretty good there.
That is
on the flip side here, Northland also 2-0. Theirs has also been on the back of their quarterback as well. Not as high scoring, 26 points in the first game, 16 last week against Maquoketa Valley, but they shut them out. It's been on their defense. The quarterback, he's got 95 yards passing through the air with a touchdown, 122 on the ground with 3 touchdowns there. That's really it for the offense. But on the defense, it looks like they got 2 guys there making plays. Jack Gerke, a junior, 11.5 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss. He's the one leading the way on the defense. They got the shutout last week, so East Marshall needs to score, which they can do.
Yeah.
It'll be close.
Yeah.
Probably 21-20 East Marshall.
Oh, we got a score prediction as well. I'm sure Dylan will love that. His alma mater looking to go 3-0 on the season.
Yeah, I think they can do it here, but it'll be a tough battle there.
Yeah, that is for sure. That is our East Marshall preview, all brought to you by Sheer Envy and Gilman. This is Bobcat Game Day Live. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Ready for a new look? At Sheer Envy and Gilman, you'll find everything you need to feel your best. From women's, men's, and children's haircuts to hair coloring, perms, facial waxing, spray tanning, manicures, and pedicures. Sheer Envy does it all. Whether it's a quick trim, a bold new style, or a little pampering, Jen has you covered. Call today to book your appointment at 641-498-2426. Sheer Envy and Gilman, because confidence starts with great style.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by First Rate Real Estate, FirstRateTeam.com, Adland Engraving and Screen Print Company, AdlandEngraving.com, Assured Partners, power through partnership, your Marshalltown Dairy Queens, and Brown Shoe Fit, with you every step.
Now, time for our West Marshall preview, all presented by Ethington Heating and Cooling. We're not comfortable until you are. All right, West Marshall is back to 1-1. They got a nice win last week against New Hampton.
Yeah, got a nice win, 25-6 over them. West Marshall, again, led by their quarterback here, Blake Hart. He's got 179 yards passing through the air with 2 touchdowns, but it's 3 INTs. That's what really hurt him there in that first game was turnovers. Kinnick Gears, he's their running back there. He's got 99 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, so he punches it in for him. But he's got 134 yards receiving. He's that main receiver there and 2 touchdowns. But then on the defensive side, 2 interceptions as well. So he's getting it done on both sides of the ball, but also want to highlight Dalton Edridge. 2 sacks on the year, 5 tackles for a loss, 17 tackles total. Those are the guys that are going to have to step up for West Marshall. They're playing 1-1 Rolling Story as well. You know, they lost in week 2, so 28-7 against Des Moines Christian. So they're hungry for a win here. Colin Willis leads the way there, quarterback. That's all he does is pass the ball. He's got negative 15 yards rushing, but nearly 500 yards passing, 499 on the year, 5 touchdowns. But again, he, just like West Marshall's Blake Hart, he has the turnovers as well. 5 interceptions there too. Running back Cody Long has rushed for 200 yards in the season, but he hasn't been able to punch it in. So we'll see who can get it done here between West Marshall and Rolling Story. If I had to guess, West Marshall's going to come home with the victory as well.
No score this time?
We'll go 28-14.
Okay. Very conservative in your predictions. No blowouts here tonight.
No blowouts. No, I think it's both teams are evenly matched.
Yeah, well, and Des Moines Christian is definitely no slouch for Rolling Story there last week. That is our West Marshall preview, and that is all, again, brought to you by Ethington Heating and Cooling. They're not comfortable until you are. We'll get more of a preview of our matchup tonight. It's homecoming, week number 3 for the Marshalltown Bobcats as they host the Riverhawks of Mason City. This is Bobcat Game Day Live. You're watching KFJB-TV.
For 30 years, you've heard Ethington Heating and Cooling say they aren't comfortable until you are, and they mean it even more today than they did then. Ethington Heating and Cooling has provided Central Iowa with the industry's best equipment while delivering premier service and quality installation by a knowledgeable staff. From repairs and services to an entirely new system, Ethington Heating and Cooling does it all. A proud Lennox dealer as well as Trane, GeoComfort, and Mitsubishi. 641-753-5525. Ethington Heating and Cooling. They aren't comfortable until you are.
From preschool to graduation day, Marshalltown Community School District prepares students for success in a global world. Embrace the lead with curriculum that prepares students for tomorrow's challenges, giving your child unmatched college and career advantages. Embrace the lead by developing talents beyond the classroom through extracurricular opportunities and by focusing on student well-being and whole child development. Create a global learning community right here in Marshalltown. Learn more at marshalltown.k12.ia.us.
Bobcat Game Day Live.
Back in on Bobcat Game Day Live here at Leonard Field. I'm Brandon Lewis, Dylan Dose. I knew I would do it at some point here tonight. Zach Tomesch alongside me, Keith Stewart, Elijah Bond on cam coverage, Xavier Doze. That is the one Doze we do have along for us here tonight. David Braga is our on-site producer, and Jeff Brooks back in the radio studios. Okay, our matchup here tonight, absolutely love Jacob Hayes. He's got one of the best smiles on the homecoming court this year, and he also had a great game last week. Not only did he throw a touchdown pass to Aiden Smitherman, but he caught one from Jamison Niehaus. His role, how impressive you've been. You know, you could take that as a negative, not being the starting quarterback, but he has bought into his role this year, and I just continue to be so impressed with his positive mindset.
Yeah, you know, I almost feel like we saw it a couple years ago on the basketball court when he was going back and forth between junior varsity and varsity, getting a little playing time on both, but all he did was put his head down and work. And now you're seeing that as a senior, as the leader on the team. He was quarterback for the last 2 years. He overtook someone his sophomore year to be quarterback.
Yeah.
Started all of last year and now is in a different role. But, hey, still leading the team in touchdown passes, the Wildcat quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. And a guy that we've seen really step up for the Bobcats. Last week he nailed a 43-yard field goal. Aaron Zambrano. I knew he had a leg. He's got a great soccer leg, but he's got the longest field goal in 5A right now from 43 yards out last week.
Weapon. That is what he is to have on the special teams. There's 3 facets of the game. You've got offense, defense, and special teams. You can have somebody like him on your special teams in high school. That makes a difference because when you're thinking about punting or kicking that field goal, you're doing that way further away from the end zone than any other team. So field position. I
talked to Scott Johannes, soccer coach. He's all right with his soccer guys getting a little bit of football playing time as well, and he's excited for them because he feels like, hey, even if soccer doesn't work out, maybe you could have a little Robbie Gold. He actually said he played against Robbie Gold in high school, and Robbie Gold was a big soccer player and then only showed up on Friday nights to kick and then ended up making a career in the NFL. So
yeah, one leg can make you millions of dollars if you can swing it right.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, on the other side of things for Mason City, the guy that we'll be talking about, calling his name all night, Drew Hobart, number one.
Yeah.
He's got already a couple kickoff returns for touchdowns this year. He's the X factor for them. If they win this game, it'll be because his name's all stamped over it.
I've been covering, this is year 4 being on the squad here, covering Bobcat names. When I recognize a last name from another team, that's usually a bad sign. That means it's somebody who either has been playing varsity for a few years or as the family, the older brother that beat us up a little bit as well. Yeah. So we can contain him, control the line of scrimmage. It could be a good night for the Bobcats.
We'll keep you up to date on other games going on around the state of Iowa tonight as well, thanks to Jeff Brooks back at the radio studios. Coming up your way, it's our Cat Connection, all brought to you by State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency, and also we'll get our pregame chat with head coach Adam Goodvin. This is Bobcat Football. You're watching Bobcat Game Day live from Leonard Field on KFJB-TV.
Good call tonight, man. You too? You think what I'm thinking? Let's go to Legends for a Bobcat burger.
Hi, guys. What are we hungry for today?
I think we're going to do 2 Bobcat burgers. Whether it's pregame or postgame.
Or during the game, it's Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
Looking for top-notch eye care close to home? Eye Care Associates, with offices in Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo, has proudly served Central Iowa since 1990. Their expert team provides eye exams for all ages, designer frames, contact lens fittings, and treatment for glaucoma, cataracts, and other eye conditions. With advanced technology, a welcoming staff, and convenient online booking, your next visit is easier than ever. Visit visionsource-marshalltowneyecare.com today. Eye Care Associates, your vision is their priority.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
Non-district play has allowed for many traditional rivalries in high school football to continue. One of the biggest is renewed tonight in Sioux City. Justin Barker reports.
Fierce rivals will lock up again tonight at Bishop Heelan's Memorial Field as both teams come in ranked in their respective classes. In Class 3A, it's the number 1 ranked Bishop Heelan Crusaders hosting Class 5A 8th ranked East High. The visiting Black Raiders are led by high-flying quarterback Cal Jepson, future Western Kentucky baseball recruit, and his top wide receiving target Isaiah Grant. The Bishop Heelan Crusaders are led by senior quarterback Noah Conley and future Iowa Hawkeye Kason Thomas. It'll be another black and blue battle between these two teams. It's Bishop Heelan and East High, who've nearly split the last 15 meetings, with the home team winning more often than not. The Crusaders and Black Raiders tonight at Memorial Field. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Justin Barker.
Also in 5A, Waukee Northwest moved to the top of the Radio Iowa rankings. The Wolves are at Iowa City High. Second-ranked Iowa City Liberty hosts Linn-Mar. It's third-ranked West Des Moines Valley at home against Urbandale. There are a couple of rated matchups at 8-player tonight. It includes 4th-ranked Montezuma hosting number 2 Iowa Valley. Montezuma's 2-0 on the season. Coach John Beck says his defense has a big challenge tonight. Iowa Valley, in a 3-0 start to the season, is averaging 56 points.
We're not going to hold them to 0 points. We know that. But can we slow them down enough to get some stops here and there? And our offense be consistent enough to put together drives and score some points and be there right at the end. Make this thing a close game, because they haven't had a true close game this year. And we have. So we want to see what they can do in a close game.
Also an 8-player, 5th-ranked Fremont Mills is on the road at 6th-ranked Woodbine. Fremont Mills coach Greg Ernster says Woodbine combines a big play passing attack with a powerful ground game.
So if you try to take away the run, the pass game, that running back, he runs downhill, he's physical, he's athletic. So they kind of pick your poison of what you got to try to do. So, we just got to do our best to try to be balanced on defense and just kind of, force them to make the plays.
8-player top-ranked Bishop Garrigan is at home against North Iowa. Class A tonight. Number 1 West Hancock visits Newman Catholic. It's 2nd-ranked St. Ansgar on the road at South Winneshiek. 3rd-ranked MMCRU plays host to South O'Brien. This season, Bex is recognizing student-athletes that are not only a star in athletics, but a player that shows heart in school, at work, through the community, and the ag industry. Besides being a three-sport athlete, Alexa Betting of Nevada is active in other school activities and helps set up service projects for Key Club.
One of the ones, for example, that we brought last year was hygiene bags for shelters around Ames and Nevada. So everyone from the club brings in like a couple items like the toothbrush, sunscreen, socks, stuff like that.
As a standout distance runner who also competes in basketball, Ben Byers from Sibley Ocheden spends nearly the entire year in season or training.
Oh, yeah, it's tough, especially when you want to go family vacations or just school trips and things like that. You always got to find that little bit extra time to go run and maybe wake up a little earlier. But especially with distance running, the amount of time it takes and just it's super competitive, and you just got to be training year-round and all the time.
Cadley Bailey from Creston started her own cattle herd with her sisters at the age of 8.
We own about 40 head of purebred Simmental cattle we bought when we were younger, and we showed them all throughout their showtime life. We breed them, AI them, and we sell their offspring, the bulls and steers, to the sale barn, and then we keep back the replacement heifers to replace our herd.
Carter Schwab from Bishop Garrigan got an early start working on a farm that's been in his family for more than a century.
My first memory was definitely I was driving the truck when I was 8, and I was putting seed into the planter, back in the seed tender up to the planter.
Nominate a student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart. The rest of Week 3 is next on the Scouting Report.
At Beck's, we believe that true champions are not just made on the field, but also in the heart. The Beck's Player with Heart Scholarship celebrates high school student athletes who show dedication, teamwork, and leadership, both in sports and in their communities. We're honoring those who go above and beyond, demonstrating passion, perseverance, and a commitment to making a difference. Nominate a high school student athlete by searching Beck's Player with Heart.
The Scouting Report from Radio Iowa Sports.
A top 5 clash highlights tonight's action in Class 4A as third-ranked Adel ADM is on the road at defending state champ and fourth-ranked North Polk. Shaquan Nettingham will call the game for Raccoon Valley Radio.
Both teams come into the game 2-0 on the season, and it's been stellar play so far from the two senior quarterbacks. On the Tiger side, Hudson Scholl has completed 27 of his 36 pass attempts for 371 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then rushing-wise, he has 2 TDs and has rushed for 160 yards. On the other side, for the Comets, it's James Armstrong, who has completed 32 of his 56 passes for 449 yards, 3 TDs through the air. He's also rushed for 73 yards and added 2 touchdowns. In Week 1, it was the Tigers getting a 45-20 victory over the Winterset Huskies, and then they followed that up Week 2 with a 41-3 victory over the Ballard Bombers. On North Polk's side, Week 1, they edged by the Lewis Central Titans 27-24, and then in a defensive battle this last week, the Comets beat the Newton Cardinals 16-13. Raccoon Valley Radio will have the broadcast of tonight's game on K107.9 KKRF.
Also in Class 4A tonight, it's top-ranked Cedar Rapids Xavier hosting number 8 Clear Creek Amana. Second-ranked Pella's on the road at North Scott. The Rock Bowl at Loras College will be the host as 4A fifth-ranked Decorah visits 3A number 7 Waldert Catholic. Decorah coach Mike Tungan says this will be a big test for the Vikings.
A team like this, you have to beat them. They're not just going to beat themselves. So, all those things, I think it's a good test for us to kind of see where we're at. I think that we are a good football team, but we're going to find out, where we're at, whether it's good or bad on Friday. We're going to learn either way. And I'm looking forward to the challenge.
There is a top 5 matchup in 3A tonight as second-ranked Mount Vernon's on the road at number 4 Solon. 2A, top-ranked Kemper Catholic is at Shenandoah. It's number 2 OABCIG on the road at Boyden Hull Rock Valley. Third-ranked Alburnett visits 1A, third-ranked Regina Catholic. A rematch of last year's 1A championship game finds top-ranked Grundy Center visiting Dike New Hartford. John Mulwickle has a preview.
Dike New Hartford is coming off last week's 7-0 win at Applington Parkersburg, where a third-quarter touchdown was the difference in a game won in the margins. Head coach Don Betts says they'll need to play their most complete game yet.
We're going to have to play a much cleaner ball game to have a chance against Grundy Center. They lost a lot of kids off of that state championship team we played in the Dome last year, but they bring back some exceptional players, and the Jurwowski kid in my opinion, is the best player in the state of Iowa.
Grundy Center coach Travis Zajac looks forward to an electric atmosphere in what will be the 6th meeting in 4 seasons.
It's always a pleasure to coach against Coach Betts and his staff and how they do their thing. And we're just going to work on what we need to do to get better, try to improve from week 2 to week 3, and it should be a heck of a football game.
Grundy Center will go for its 6th straight win in the series. For the Radio Iowa Scouting Report, I'm John Molenkel with On The Go Media in Parkersburg and Hampton.
Also in Class 1A tonight, it's second-ranked West Lyon hosting Unity Christian. Number 4 South Hardin is at home against Hudson, while 5th-ranked Underwood pays a visit to Clarinda. That's all for the Scouting Report. For Radio Iowa Sports, I'm Todd Kim.
Rainbow Car Wash has been in town over 40 years. New owners Brett and Kim Canaday have been with Rainbow for more than 35 years, focusing on quality, cleanliness, and great customer service. Open 24 hours year-round with 2 convenient locations. Each location has 2 oversized truck bays to accommodate large vehicles. All bays except quarters. And for your convenience, newly installed credit, debit, Apple Pay, and Samsung Pay featuring Swipe or Tap to Pay, powerful vacuums, and a great selection of vending supplies. Follow us on Facebook at Rainbow Car Wash LLC.
The Cat Connection, powered by State Farm, mtownproud.com.
It is our Cat Connection, all brought to you by Tyler Prashong Agency, mtownproud.com. Here with Kyle Smith, senior for the Marshalltown Bobcats, corner and wide receiver. Is there anything out there at wide receiver that you do, and then you go play corner and you're like, you know, I do that as a wide receiver. That's a little bit of a cue right there that, hey, they might be passing. Is there those kind of little things you can pick up on?
Yeah, no, for sure. In practice, we work on that stuff all the time. It's Coach Winkler and everybody tell us, you know, once the ball's in the air, then, you know, you turn in the receiver if you're the DB. So that's kind of a key focus we've been working on, and just trying to get better at it every single day.
Meanwhile, on the wide receiver side, you've only caught 1 ball from your buddy Jacob Hayes this year. But I was watching some of the highlights from last week, and I think you were jumping around just as much when the Bobcats rushed it in for a touchdown as you would celebrating and scoring on your own reception. So how much pride do you take at wide receiver in executing those blocks and setting up those big running lanes for the running backs and quarterbacks?
I mean, I take a lot of pride. I mean, it doesn't have to be about me. You know, if other people are stepping up and making plays, why don't we just keep doing that? So it's just been great. You know, I'm just doing whatever I can to go out and get the win for the team. So if we can go out, execute perfectly, and you know, just do what we do, then I think that's just going to take care of most things.
How fun has the start of the season been? 2 blowout victories, especially that one over Ames.
It's been awesome. You know, going out and beating Ames in a rivalry game is always a good time. And then, you know, going up to the Unidome, that was such a fun memory for me and just all the guys. And we, you know, love doing it. But I think I've celebrated too much because I lost my voice in both games. So it's I think I might need to cool it down a little bit. But
how's homecoming week been for you? I know you're on homecoming court. It's sure to be a special senior week, right?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. You know, just being around all the guys, the coaches. You know, kind of just soaking in my last moments being here. So it's been awesome, and I just appreciate everything everybody's done.
Of course, we know that you're friends with Jacob Hayes, not the starting quarterback this year. You know, some could look at that as a negative thing, but boy, what do you think of Jacob? I mean, he's really bought into his role, helping out defensively. There at tight end, he comes in, he throws a touchdown pass last week, catches one. I mean, that's got to be pretty fun to see for your friend.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love to see him go out there, compete with these guys, and you know, make plays because you know it's been awesome to see him. You know, just step up in that role and, you know, be someone who we can really rely on now. It's just been so great to see him just be a part of the team.
Yeah. All right. What other things are you doing during the school year?
I'm involved in football, basketball, and then tennis. Yeah. So, yep.
Okay. We know the basketball one for sure.
a little bit.
Of course, you know, basketball season right around the corner. You know, when you look at football, basketball, probably not a ton of takeaways, but from the game planning, I know kind of Coach, you know, over there on the basketball floor gives you different defensive assignments, and then obviously how can you get open for the shot. So do those kind of two relate as far as game prep goes? You know, you're watching film for both and getting mentally prepared. How do they kind of relate?
Yeah, definitely. It's just kind of a process, you know, a routine every single day going in and knowing that, you know, we got a game to play and we got to go out there and, you know, prepare just like we do every other game. So it's pretty similar in the things we do, but it's a little different. But other than that, it's, you know, stay locked in, get ready, go on the bus, go win a football game or a basketball game. So, yep.
Good luck rest of the season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is Kyle Smith for the Marshalltown Bobcats with our Cat Connection, mtownproud.com.
Like any good neighbor, sometimes you move. Here at Tyler Pashong State Farm, we have moved to our new office location at 2110 South Center Street here in Marshalltown. I'm Tyler Pashong. I'm so proud of my team and what we have helped build, but we couldn't have done it without you. We are passionate about what we do and care about the community we serve. I invite you to our new location and see how we can make a positive impact in your life.
We'd love to talk to you about what makes you
M-Town proud.
Back in on our countdown to kickoff here tonight between the Marshalltown Bobcats and the Mason City Riverhawks. Bobcats 2-0 on the season, coming off a win 43-20 last Friday night at the Unidome in Cedar Falls. Huge start, fast start last week. Obviously, you got up to 30 points in that first quarter alone. You got off to a quick 12-0 start in week number 1 against Ames. What's led to these fast starts that you've seen from your offense?
Man, I don't know. We do talk about it a lot. Each week we've implemented what we call a primer lift, 2 to 3 hours before kickoff, and I think that kind of wakes the kids up. And we've received some good feedback on that, so I'd like to think that contributes to some fast starts, and the kids are showing up out there after pregame ready to roll. So, we're going to keep doing it, and hopefully we can continue to start fast and good things happen.
I've been calling Bobcat games for 6 years, and there's been some teams that have showed sense of urgency, but for a few years now, this is probably the most sense of urgency out of a team that I've seen. As far as, last week, Waterloo East tries to creep back in, and you guys pull back ahead. Same thing week 1.
Yeah, like I just said, we preach start fast, stay fast, and along with that, just high energy. All 11 guys swarming to the football and just attacking. Versus getting attacked and letting things happen. We want to dictate how the game's played, and through the first 2 weeks, our kids have been doing an excellent job of playing at a high speed and at a high level.
Of course, last week was a little rough on the injury front. How are you doing health-wise heading into tonight?
We're much better. Pretty dinged up. A lot of bumps and bruises a week ago. Nothing major, which was we're very fortunate to be in that boat. So we got a lot of guys that are healthier than they were a week ago and ready to roll.
That rubber and the turf at home seems to make a difference, because I noticed it was a little bit harder of a turf last week. Do you think that kind of contributed? Because we saw Waterloo East with a few guys bumped up too.
Yeah, that's a good question. It was a lot more firm and hard. I think that subsurface is quite a bit different than what we're used to, and possibly.
Of course, you get a few players back this week. What will that mean to kind of maybe that depth, or giving guys who are going both ways a little bit of a break?
It's going to be huge. We've got quite a few that are going to be returning this week, and just like you said, just that depth factor that is much needed as far as giving breaks and getting guys out there that are fresh and able to play at a high level, 100% versus 60-70% sometimes when they're dog tired. And it'll also allow us as a staff to be able to communicate with the kids on the sideline a little bit more and make some more in-game adjustments.
I've seen a trick play where a team will pass to their quarterback for a receiving touchdown. That was not the case last week for Jacob Hayes. He was lined up at tight end, caught a touchdown pass, threw a touchdown pass. You had mentioned to me last week that, boy, what kind of an X factor for you to have at that backup quarterback spot and be able to line him up. What's his role in the buy-in meant to you as a head coach, knowing that you can kind of, I guess you want to say, demote a guy from quarterback and put Jamison Niehaus in there, but he is fully accepted his responsibility and excelled.
I think when you look at the big picture and what Jacob provides for our team, I think without a doubt he's probably our most valuable player on our team at the moment, just as far as what he can do and where we can put him and all that stuff. But, he's a very selfless kid, and it takes a selfless person to do what he's doing, and he's attacking it. And, very proud of him, and there's a lot of
lot more good things are going to happen this season for him. There's no doubt about that.
Is he a contagious personality? Because, I mean, he's got one of the best smiles on the football team, and he's always smiling out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he doesn't care. He's always in a good mood, and he's ready to roll. So he's a fun kid to have around.
Those always are the kind of guys you hear from coaches. I wish I had a few more of those kind of guys, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we're fortunate to have a few guys like that. You know, in past years, maybe not so much the case, but we got some guys that we definitely wish we had more of.
Yeah. Mason City is on the slate here tonight for homecoming for the Marshalltown Bobcats. This is one of the earliest homecomings I can remember.
Yeah, I think so. Week 3, that's kind of bizarre, isn't it? But that's just kind of how things worked out and what the district went with, and it is what it is.
Yeah. We'll preview our matchup here tonight when we come back right here on Bobcat Football on KFJB-TV.
At Lennox Employees Credit Union, we take care of you like family. We're all about personal service, going above and beyond for our members. Whether it's home, auto, or other financial services, we're here for you. Take advantage of our always low interest rates or exclusive perks being a member can bring. Unlike others within personal services, at Lennox Employees Credit Union, we're all about that personal service. We find great joy meeting with our members to discuss their financial needs or big dreams. It's easy to become a member. Stop in today. Lennox Employees Credit Union, a family place.
Back in, it is a football Friday night here on KFJB-TV. All right, the Mason City Riverhawks in town. You have a 3-game slide going against them. And, of course, last year, this was a really tremendous football game. Your defense pitched a shutout in the second half after allowing Drew Hobart to score 3 touchdowns, 2 on kick return. So I guess the big question, are you going to kick it off to Drew Hobart here tonight?
Potentially, that's never the plan, but I think what our main focus is, we feel like our kickoff coverage has been very solid through the first 2 weeks and really emphasized the importance of continuing to improve in that aspect of the game and, being really smart as far as where Innocent places the ball on the kickoff and put our guys in positions to get down the field and avoid their blockers and break down on the football and make a good play.
Watching video from last week, Mason City's 0-2 on the season. They lost big to Gilbert. They allowed almost 400 yards of rushing in that contest. This is a team, Mason City, they've allowed 325 yards per game as far as defense rushing allowed. So they've played 2 tough contests, Fort Dodge and Gilbert. But what do you think you can do to also be successful in this matchup on the ground?
I think we've really got to continue to get better at what we do. Our focus has got to be on us. I think it's no secret, like you said, they've played 2 really good football teams these first 2 weeks. But, we feel like we're a good football team too. So if we can take another step forward, I think, I'll be pleased, and I think good things will happen.
Gilbert obviously runs a little bit of a version of a flex bone. I didn't see, at least on some of the tape that I watched, it was necessarily what you guys do, but they definitely like to ground and pound. Was there anything that you saw that you feel good about being able to exploit from your running backs, Tyler England and Jameson Niehaus, your quarterback?
Yeah, I think being able to use that tape helps a little bit. Being able to use the tape from a year ago is going to help us a little bit. And week 1 was the game we played against them a year ago, so it was very early on in the year. Didn't have a lot of film on them, but I think from a personnel side of things, we know that they've got some talent on both sides of the football. A lot of guys going both ways. But back to the Gilbert film, I think they line up, and I think they only lined up in like 2 different formations, so I'm kind of limited on that. But I think we get the basis for what they're trying to accomplish on that side of the ball, so we feel like we've got a good game plan.
Dane Hansen was the quarterback last year. They've slid him back to running back and a little bit of wide receiver this year. And now they bring in Jameer Falls, who we've seen on the basketball floor, a pretty good basketball player, pretty quick, a little bit elusive out there as well. What did you see on tape that you have to do well to stop him at the quarterback position?
Yeah, I think we've got to get pressure from our defensive line. Our backers have got to be disciplined and read guards. They're wing tee based out of the gun, and but I think our defensive line have got to play a really tough football game and just keep getting after it every single play and play with a motor and really pressure him into making throws that he doesn't feel comfortable doing. But at the same time, we've got to be able to contain too, because he can do some special things with his legs.
Well, and you mentioned the defensive pressure. Your team got 4 sacks last week. Talon Halstead really stepped into that role. He picked up a couple sacks last week. So you feel like that side of the ball, too, is really getting going here in week 3?
Yeah, I do. We're really coaching the heck out of that group of guys. And, they continue to get after it every single day. So that's been really it's been a lot of fun to watch their growth, early on this year. And then, I anticipate it's going to be a lot of fun to watch them continue to grow and get better. And, a lot of those guys are new to that position. And I think that just kind of makes things a little more special.
Yeah, for sure. Good luck tonight, Coach.
Appreciate it.
All right, that is head coach Adam Goodvin on our pregame chat. Coming up, we check out the starters for both squads when we come back and our keys to the game right here on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Craving something sweet and savory? Head to your Marshalltown Dairy Queens, 711 North 3rd Avenue and 2107 South Center Street. Try the Blizzard of the Month, the new Caramel Toffee Cookie Blizzard, or that fall favorite, the Pumpkin Pie Blizzard. 2 delicious options, but hurry, they're only here for a limited time. And don't miss a DQ Classic, 4-piece chicken strip baskets for just $7.49 all month long. All white meat strips, crispy fries, warm Texas toast, and your favorite dipping sauce. Get yours now at Marshalltown Dairy Queens.
The following is a presentation of Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV.
It's week 3 of the high school football season, and homecoming has come for the Bobcats.
I'm feeling high when I'm low. I need it more when you're close to me, close to me. I'm feeling high when I'm low. I need it more when you're close to me. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm feeling high when I'm low, low.
Touchdown, Bobcats! Loose at the 10, 5, touchdown, Sam Friesel! Tonight, the Bobcats look for revenge after last year's 26-25 loss to the Mason City Riverhawks. His 3rd touchdown of the night, Drew Hobart dropped in the end zone. It's the house! Friday night, homecoming for the Bobcats at Leonard Field. Smitherman at the 50, 40, 30. Can anybody get him at the 10, 5, touchdown! And break the tackle, and he'll dive for the end zone. Touchdown, Jamison Niehaus. Homecoming for the Marshalltown Bobcats, week number 3. Welcome in to our coverage on KFJB-TV. I'm Brandon Lewis. Zach Tomesch alongside me as the homecoming court recognized here at Leonard Field. We are excited to bring you action back at home tonight on a beautiful football Friday night, week number 3. Zach Tomesch takes us inside the matchup here tonight, as it is all brought to you here tonight on our broadcast as the Bobcats and Riverhawks match up 8-7 since 2008. And last time Marshalltown beat Mason City 2019, Zach, 27-7. So it's been quite a few years. Bobcats get a victory here tonight. They would go to 3-0 on the season, which also coincides with 2019, last time they started a season 3-0. So a lot on the line. We know these two teams like to battle it out.
Yeah, last year was close, 26-25. I've never seen the Bobcats beat the Riverhawks here, so I would love to see that tonight. Atmosphere is great with homecoming in the air as we see the King walk across the court there, Eric Martinez. But 3 in a row there for Mason City. 26-25, and then a couple blowouts, 32-3, 28-0. I mean, I think the Bobcats are hungry from last year, but really want to show Mason City that, us guys from down south, we're tough too.
Yeah, the Hobarts have been a wrecking crew in this 3-game winning streak. You had Cale Hobart, the quarterback, who had a 28-0 victory and literally ran all over the Marshalltown Bobcats. And then Drew Hobart. The Bobcats kept Mason City scoreless in the second half last year. You take him out of the game, Bobcats easily win that game.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but this was also the game a couple years ago where Jacob Hayes took over at quarterback or saw flashes too.
Yep.
So, I mean, not in that role anymore,
Yep.
but could he show flashes in his other positions he's playing?
A little payback here tonight is what you're saying, right?
I think it could be, yeah, maybe.
That is Inside the Matchup here tonight, all brought to you by Century Plumbing in Marshalltown, as they specialize in service plumbing in Marshalltown. A great crowd on hand for week number 3 here at Leonard Cole Field, as we will take a timeout. When we come back, we'll get tonight's starting 11 for both squads. This is Bobcat football. You're listening to News Talk 1230 AM, 93.9 FM, and watching right here on KFJB-TV.
When you need a plumber quickly, try Century Plumbing of Marshalltown. We specialize in service plumbing, not new construction or large remodels, so we get to our customers faster, from clogged drains to water heaters and everything in between. We can help with a guaranteed appointment and quality, efficient service. I'm Sarah, co-owner of Century Plumbing, and I'd love to book your appointment today. Call 641-750-0108. That's 641-750-0108.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by Central State Bank, locations in Ames, State Center, and West Des Moines. Eye Care Associates of Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo. Hy-Vee of Marshalltown. It pays to perk with Hy-Vee Perks. And Legends American Grill, Marshalltown Steakhouse.
Bobcats and the Riverhawks tonight from Leonard Cole Field. Time for tonight's starting lineups, all brought to you by Sandvik Enterprises in Marshalltown. Let them deliver for you while we deliver you the starting lineup. All right, first off for the Mason City Riverhawks here tonight, offense will look like this. At quarterback, it will be Jameer Falls. So far this year, he's been kind of the do-it-all guy. 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, but he has thrown 3 interceptions, including an interception last week as Gilbert Kickoff 3 times in that game. They kicked it off out of bounds. They were trying to not get it to Drew Hobart, so they kicked it out of bounds 3 times in a row, backed it up to the 25. They kicked off, squib kick, returned it to the 45, and then about 4 or 5 plays later, Jameer Falls throws a pick 6. So it worked out good for Gilbert anyway, but
just
still,
like they drew it up.
Exactly. They know that Jameer Falls and all the other guys can be out there, but the X factor is Drew Hobart. He'll start at wide receiver tonight, along with Drayden Witt and Thomas Medlin. And Dane Hansen, last year's starting quarterback, is now at running back. So far this year, 17 rushes for just 46 yards. It'll be Kenneth Brown, Corbin Crooks, Jack Bedeker, Landon Arhart, and Drake Schlater across the offensive line. Meanwhile, for the Mason City Riverhawks defense, this is a defense that's allowing 34 points per game. 1 sack last year in this matchup against the Bobcats. Did not have a turnover. This sack has generated just 1 sack, 1 interception, and 2 fumble recoveries so far this year. On the defensive line, it will be Jaden Williams, good playmaker down there. He played at linebacker last year, now slides into defensive end. Cedric Alex, Ryan Burr across the defensive line. It's Chase LaCour at the rover spot in that linebacker squad. Damian Blackwell, Ty Sanchez-Evans, the big tight end on the offensive side of things. He'll play the middle linebacker spot. 17 total tackles, a fumble recovery this year. Sam Collins, the weak side linebacker, with an interception this year. Thomas Medlin, Drayden Witt are the corners. Dane Hansen, Drew Hobart are at safety. All right, for the Marshalltown Bobcats starting offense here tonight, looks like this. It'll be Jamison Niehaus. He'll start at quarterback as he has 27.3 yards per completion. That is number 1 in 5A. Zach, we don't pass it, but when we do, we are very efficient. We have the best quarterback efficiency in 5A as well. I mean, we don't need to pass it a lot, but when the Bobcats do go to the air, it's been effective this year.
Yeah, and I think it's because of how effective the run game has been. You know, the defense, the linebackers, they're all going to bite on those fakes. It was kind of a little pop to the tight end for Jacob Hayes' score last week. So more of that. But the run is what's setting up the pass, which is making it so easy for them.
And that's all because through 2 weeks, this is the number 1 rushing offense in 5A with 616 yards. Also number 1 in 5A with 8 rushing touchdowns. Tyler England will get the start at the B-back. Aiden Smitherman, Unga Pramana at the slots. The tight end will be Jacob Hayes, Zane Moore, Kyle Smith split out when they do go to 2 wide receivers. Verdinez, Hinkle, Estrada, Sinclair, Rice will be the offensive linemen. On the defensive side for the Marshalltown Bobcats, no sacks week number 1 against Ames, but 4 sacks last week against Waterloo East, including Talon Halstead, who picked up 2 sacks last week, had a really nice tackle in the backfield on a screenplay. He'll get the start at defensive end after he moves from corner a year ago down to defensive end. Jackson Hinkle will man the nose tackle, Xavier Verdinez at the other end. On the linebacker squad, they've been all the playmakers so far this year. Jamison Niehaus, J.J. Schoenfelder, Zach Wilder, Declan Green. At corners, it'll be Aiden Smitherman and Kyle Smith. And the safeties tonight, free safety is Drake Gersma. Unga Pramana is at strong safety. Bobcats giving up just 17 points per game as the Bobcats have 14 tackles for a loss this year. I think that'll be the key tonight. Can they get in the backfield and get Jameer Falls on that defensive end?
Yeah, gang tackling. Once you get one person on them, can the rest of the team come in and help and bring them down? Get them in the backfield, stop them, make them give you the ball back so you can run the ball and tick that clock.
That is our starting lineup. Signal brought to you by Sandvik Enterprises in Marshalltown. You're watching KFJB-TV.
YMCC? Competitive athletics, affordable tuition, on-campus living, online courses plus 2 campus locations, unique programs, career training, small classes, short-term hands-on training. Choose MCC.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
National anthem wrapping up here at Leonard Coalfield. If you're wondering why the flag is at half-staff, the assassination of Charlie Kirk the other day, flags ordered to half-staff. And, of course, the band wrapping up. Of course, tonight at halftime, looking forward to the band. They've got 2 movements going here tonight. I know Brett Umpton, band director, very excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, every time there's a home game, we get some more movement going on, added to the show every other week this week. So it's, nice, steady schedule to add that on throughout the year.
Homecoming only in week 3. It's very early here tonight, that is for sure. All right, time for our keys to the game, all presented by First Rate Real Estate, FirstRateTeam.com. All right, tonight for the Riverhawks, Zach, what are you thinking?
Well, for the Riverhawks, it's going to be big game, big plays. So this is a big game for the Riverhawks. They've got to show up and take it to the Bobcats again. It was a close game after they blew them out 2 times in a row. Close game last year. They want to flex their muscles here and see, show them we from up north, we still do have you guys. Big plays. I mean, that's what's done it for the Riverhawks against the Bobcats previously. So they've got to get those big plays. It can't be chipping away. They've got to get Hobart loose to win this game. Bobcats, break big or break up. It's homecoming. There's going to be some breakups this weekend. But the Bobcats can break big on the field. They'll do better than I did in high school. Let's just,
and the Bobcats have hit big plays, to your point, this year. Of course, Tyler England, 65-yard touchdown rush, number 5 in 5A. And, of course, 72-yarder for Jamison Niehaus, number 4 in 5A as far as some of the big plays this year for the Marshalltown Bobcats, who are 2-0 on the season. Riverhawks are 0-2, coming off of losses against Fort Dodge in Week 1 and a loss to Gilbert last week, 48-26. That was a game where they were up 13-7, but then ended up getting outscored 41-13 after that point. So that is one of the big things here to watch, is how the Bobcats get off to a start. They've been hot all season long. They've got out to a 12-0 lead against Ames in Week 1, and then last week they were up 30-7 at the end of the first quarter, as the Bobcats getting ready to take the field here tonight, as the Bobcats will be in their blue tops and white bottoms. Mason City, all white uniforms with their black shells here. A great crowd is on hand for week number 3 between the Riverhawks and the Bobcats. And here come the Cats. It's week number 3, homecoming for the Cats. We kick off next right here on your home for Bobcat Athletics, KFJB-TV.
Brown Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear. Choose from New Balance, On, Keen, Echo, and much more. Brown Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and European footwear, carrying multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff is available to give you a personalized experience and can find the right shoes for what you need. Brown Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown, with you every step of the way.
Intercepted. It's Niehaus, a sophomore, makes the pick at the 20. Well, it's been a great start to the season. 2-0 for the Bobcats with wins against Ames and Waterloo East, but this comes to be a good test here tonight against the 4A Mason City Riverhawks. As coin toss for the Bobcats coming momentarily. Great to see Juan Pablo Perez, who had a lower leg injury, which will put him out for the season this year, but he's out there as one of the captains for the Marshalltown Bobcats here tonight. Great moment for him, the senior, to be out there with his guys tonight.
Yeah, great to see him back onto the field where he got hurt there. Shows leadership. You know, that's one way to really bring the team together as well throughout the season. So let's see if we can rally the Cats tonight.
Bobcats will defer to the second half. They will kick things off to the Mason City Riverhawks here tonight. Bobcats last year in this matchup, 246 rushing yards, 10 yards passing. The one thing watching back last year's game, the flow isn't there like it is here this year. Yeah. The offense, I mean, there was a couple pitches to Aiden Smitherman, which lost huge yards. I mean, this is a much different team that knows this flex bone this year.
Yeah, I think it's year 2 in the system, and so more of the kids have been able to really sink their teeth into it. So they understand it. They eat, live, and breathe it over the summer, and it's paying off here at the beginning of the year. And it's that offensive line also feeling more comfortable. They were young last year. I mean, let's be honest. They were young. They got some experience, and they got a little bit bigger in the weight room.
Yeah, that is for sure. They put in a lot of work in the offseason. Well, the Bobcats will kick things off to begin the night in their blue tops. Looking sharp with the Cat script across the top as the Bobcats will take the field. As the Bobcats will kick off. So far this year, Innocent Aishungalungu, he has kicked it off a total of 4 times. Or excuse me, not 4 times, 13 times. That's Mason City. They've kicked it off 4 times.
I feel like we've scored a couple more touchdowns.
13 kickoffs, no touchbacks this year. It will be interesting to see this first kickoff of the game. Kickoff tonight, powered by Century 21, Marshalltown's #1 home team, the PolyRealEstateTeam.com. It is week number 3 of the high school football season. The ball is teed up at the 40. It is Drew Hobart back to return, as well as Dane Hansen for Mason City. Drew Hobart, 2 returns, 94.5-yard average and he's taken both of them back to the house. He had 3 returns, 2 for touchdowns last year against the Bobcats, including a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in this 26-25 game a year ago. Week number 3, boom, we are underway as the ball will be pooched down to the 20-yard line. They'll kick away from Hobart. Hansen will have it, spun around at the 25-yard line, and finally he'll be driven down just across the 25, up at the 28-yard line is where they will start this drive at in their own side of the field. As we see a lot of smoke coming out onto the field.
I believe that's baby powder.
It is baby powder.
They did the
right.
LeBron James there to start kickoff, the student section.
So the Bobcat defense will take the field. 4 sacks a week ago, and only registered 1 sack a year ago in this matchup. We'll see if they can get on Jameer Falls, who starts out in the shotgun on 1st down and 10. Hand off to Hansen. He finds a big seam, cuts through it at the 30, runs over Unger Permata on his way to a 1st down. He is stopped at the 43-yard line, and that'll be a huge a gain of 15 yards on 1st down.
Yeah, it looks like the defensive line got smacked in the mouth a little bit there to start the game. They've got to know, hey, it's homecoming. Yeah, it's fun. There's been a lot of things, but game started now.
So Hansen with a good run on 1st down.
Lowered his shoulder there at the end.
Ball on the far side of the hash. And a handoff again to Hansen. They'll stretch it to the near side. Bounces off a tackler, and he fights through another tackle. He just keeps the legs moving on his way to a 12-yard pickup, and he is into Bobcat territory at the 45-yard line. As we are not even a minute into this contest, Mason City is into Bobcat territory just like that.
2 runs, 2 first downs. Both of them have been big, and his legs have kept going, shoulders down. He is not running away from contact.
Hansen starting at running back, but he did play at quarterback last year. He had 14 rushes for 38 yards, and here on this first drive, he is showing it was a good move by them. Hobart on a sweep to the near side. He's got plenty of room to work. He gets the speed going outside the numbers, down inside the 30, and it's another 1st down chain mover. So 3 plays, 3 first downs for Mason City to open up the game, as this one is down to the 30-yard line, and some big runs already for Mason City.
Yeah, big runs there. You could see it once Hobart got the ball there. You could see the gear kick up into 5th gear and him try to take off and find the corner. Got another 1st down there and a 1st down run.
Mason City will break the huddle in the shotgun for Falls. He's got 2 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Handed off to Hansen. The guard pulls to the near side. He follows him up to the 25-yard line. It's a run of 5 yards on 1st down.
Well, that's progress for the Bobcats. They didn't get a 10-plus yard 1st down run there. So, we'll take what we can get right here. Defensive line just has to get their legs underneath them and show them that they're not afraid of the contact either.
So some big plays early on here for Mason City as they'll break the huddle with 10-18 and counting in the opening quarter of play. Ball on the near side hash for Jameer Falls. 3 wide receiver sets. Bring Hobart in motion again. Sweep him to the far side of the field. No, they keep it with Jameer Falls, and he is wrecked at the line of scrimmage. Ball comes out late. Jamison Niehaus has it. Was he down, though? And the officials say that, yes, Jameer Falls was down. It's a gain of 2 yards, and it will bring up 3rd and 3.
All right, that's 2 stops in a row. Stop them here on 3rd down. That's called bend, but don't break defense. They've got to either hit a field goal or get it on 4th down, and that would be a good opening drive, especially with how Mason City shot out of a cannon.
And a flag comes out before the play even gets going on 3rd down and 3, and offside the Bobcats, and that'll give Mason City a free 1st down. So this is not a great start for that Bobcat defense. You give them a free 5 yards. We look at the last play here as Jameer Falls was hitting the turf, and the ball came out late, as it will be staying with Mason City. But now 1st down and 10 at the 18-yard line. Claps his hands, and Falls will hand it off to Hansen again. Fights through a few tacklers, and he'll carry Jackson Hinkle down to the 12-yard line. So it's another nice rush. This one a 6-yard rush on 1st down by Hansen, who is looking more like a bruiser than a quarterback, which we saw last year.
Yeah, and not shying away from contact, lowering his shoulder there, whether it's a linebacker or a safety, trying to get the extra yard at the end of the play.
Under 9 minutes to go in this opening quarter of play. This drive started all the way back at the 28-yard line. It looked like a false start on the offensive line. Got going a little bit too early with maybe that left guard as they were bringing Drew Hobart in motion from the slot on the left side of the formation. So all for naught on that first down carry. This will set up 2nd down and 9 now.
I'll take what I can get at this moment. They're already in the red zone here. Barely 4 minutes into this game. If the Bobcats, at least get out of this a field goal or less, that would be a win.
They'll spread out 3 wide receivers again. It's Witt to the top side of the formation. Hobart is in the slot. They bring him in motion. They'll pitch it to him again. He's going to go to the far side. Tries to fight through a tackle, but brought down after just a 2-yard gain. That was a great job by Smitherman on the far side. The corner was able to kind of bring him in, and everybody flew in and did make the stop right there to set up 3rd down and about 7 yards to go.
Is that a pitch or is that a short
pass? That's a pass.
That's what I was thinking too. So it's a quick short pass there because they're just trying to, again, get him in that top gear so he can go find the corner and take off down the sideline.
Falls stands in the shotgun formation with Hansen to his left. 2 wide receivers out to the far side. Just a 2 wide receiver set. Over the middle of the field, they'll go to Ty Sanchez-Evans, their big tight end, and it is in for a touchdown. It is a 15-yard strike as Jameer Falls hooks up with Ty Sanchez-Evans for 6.
Yeah, you can see 21 Drake Gerzema here. He tries to come around and smack the ball out of his hands there, but he doesn't quite keep his right arm wrapped up to secure the tackle. And Mason City's able to strike first here, getting 6 points early.
So a 72-yard drive ends in 6, and Mason City out for the PAT. Cam Bugan is on for the PAT so far this year. No PATs. A flag is out on the field. And the Bobcats are offside. It's actually Carter Long in for the PAT. He's 2 of 3 this year on point after touchdown. And so offside of the Bobcats, this will put it down at the 1.5-yard line, moving it half the distance to the goal. Miscues all over the place for the Bobcats on this first drive as we saw that Sanchez-Evans touchdown strike from 15 yards out. PAT is up, and that will just sneak through the left side. A little bit of a bloop into the field goal post, but it is good, and it is 7-0. Mason City strikes first. Homecoming for the Bobcats. The offense will take the field for the first time when we come back on KFJB-TV.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East Southridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Welcome back to Leonard Coalfield. I'm Brandon Lewis. Zach Tomesch alongside me as Mason City strikes for 6. Jameer Falls finds his big tight end, Ty Sanchez-Evans, for a 15-yard strike for 6. And with 7:49 in the opening quarter, it is Riverhawks leading the Marshalltown Bobcats. Kickoff is all powered by Century 21. And it is away. Smitherman and Pramana back to return. Smitherman catches it at the 15. He's going to fake the reverse, coming to the near side. Mason City not quite as fooled as Waterloo East, but he gets around the edge. The kicker is back there to make the stop, but he makes a juke at the 30, 20, 10. Smitherman does it again. Back-to-back weeks with an opening kickoff for the Cats. And it is 7-6 with 7:35 first quarter.
I hate to say this, Brandon, but Smitherman, he made you a liar. We are not going to see the Bobcats after that break on offense. We're not going to see him. He takes it to the house, but that's twice that he's done this fake right here. We're going to see it. He sells it, too. Look at him selling it, looking back, and then he's able to find the corner and use his speed the rest of the way.
And Carter Long, the kicker, got juked out right there as you see the replay, all brought to you by State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency. 6 for the Cats on their first kickoff of the night as out for the PAT.
Maybe the Cats should have taken the kickoff to start the game and get that excitement going.
Aaron Zambrano is on for the PAT. It's up and it's good. And we are tied at 7. as the Bobcats get a huge kickoff return for a touchdown. 75-yard strike for the Cats on the kick return game, and we are tied in the first quarter with 7:35 on KFJB-TV. Pick up your 2025 Marshalltown Bobcat football roster t-shirt at adletengraving24.com. That's adletengraving24.com. Or stop by Adlet Engraving in Screen Print 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Good luck, Bobcats. Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at vanwyckwoodbuilders.com. Welcome back to Leonard Coalfield. Week 3 off to a good start. Bobcats seed a 72-yard drive to Mason City to open up the game. They had a 15-yard touchdown pass, and then Aiden Smitherman takes it 75 yards the other way for a kickoff return for a touchdown. Actually, excuse me, I mispronounced 85-yard touchdown return. He caught that at the 15.
Yeah, you know, we talked about Aaron Zambrano being a weapon on special teams, but I think it might be Aiden Smitherman there.
Yeah.
2 kickoff returns for a touchdown in 3 games. I guess really 2 1/4.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff right there. Our kickoff tonight is all powered by Poly Real Estate Team, Century 21. And Hobart will field it at the 20-yard line. He's going to reverse field. Actually, this is Witt on the return as he comes to the near side of the field. Bobcats, Talon Halstead finally in there to wrap him up at the 44-yard line. But that is a good return by Witt coming to the near side, reversing field.
Yeah, Halstead there, lines up closest to us. He is containment on the outside. He did his job there. He forced him back to the inside where the rest of his teammates were. They made the tackle.
So the Bobcat defense back out there after giving up a long drive to Mason City to open up the game. We'll see how they respond here. Had an offside on 3rd down and short. It helped out Mason City, so Jameer Falls in the offense will operate with Hobart coming in motion out of the right slot. And a handoff to Hansen right up the middle, pushes Bobcats aside. He's over the 50 and short of a first down by 1 yard. It's a 9-yard pickup on first down.
Coach Furch did not have a lot of time with his defense there. Just a kickoff is all he had to talk to him. What do you think was said in that huddle?
Let's get after it. Probably something like that. We do have a Bobcat down on the field. And looking at maybe the left knee. There's a trainer out for the Marshalltown Bobcats. I believe it might be Jonathan Schaefer, number 53 for the Bobcats. He had a really good week last week for the Cats and a good season so far. 9 total tackles and 5 tackles for a loss. So one of the key contributors on the offense and defensive lines. So he is down on the field. As the trainers check him out, we will take a timeout. You're watching Bobcat football on KFJB-TV.
When you go home, you'll feel good about what you did, and you're doing it for the kids. If they don't have us, they don't have these games.
Back at Leonard Coalfield for 2nd down and 1 after the 9-yard run by Hansen. They pass it to Hobart down to the 20, trying to spin out of a tackle. And he's finally driven down inside the 20, dropped at the 16-yard line. A huge gain through the air for Drew Hobart as Jameer Falls targets him. They brought Hobart in motion, and then he runs kind of that wheel route, and they find him down at the 30-yard line. As coming up and making the tackle at the end of the play was Giles Smith. And a touchdown-saving tackle right there. 1st down and 10, ball on the far side hash, left to right as they drive to the east end zone. Hand off to Hansen, fights through a tackle, breaks through another one. An ankle tackle is missed, runs over a Bobcat and Drake Gersma. Touchdown. And that is a 16-yard rumble from Dane Hansen. And where has the defense gone for the Marshalltown Bobcats?
The defense might be used to playing with the lead. maybe a little too comfortable this season where, Mason City got the ball first and was able just to drive down and take the lead. The Bobcats need to come out on offense now and show them that they can do it and they can move the ball just as well as the Riverhawks can.
Mason City got off to a good start last week. Like I mentioned, they were up 13-7 on Gilbert before Gilbert just ran away with that game. As Carter Long is on for the PAT, he made the first one of the night. 6:42 here in the first quarter. The PAT is up, and this one is a little more true than the first one, and it is 14-7. Mason City with the lead. First quarter on KFJB-TV.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
Welcome back to Leonard Coalfield. I'm Brandon Lewis. Zach Tomesch alongside me here tonight. And Mason City off to a big start as Dane Hansen, the running back, 62 yards on 5 carries early on, and he just punched in a 16-yard rumble into the end zone. And man, he looks like a man amongst boys early on here, Zach.
Yeah, well, half of his carries have gone over 10 yards. I mean, keep giving him the ball. He's giving you a first down every time. Got a 10-yard average, actually.
Yeah, just Bobcats not wrapping up here tonight. That's what I've noticed a lot. A lot of high tackling and tackles that are just not effective getting ran over. Our kickoff tonight is all powered by Century 21, Marshalltown's #1 home team. Aiden Smitherman, Unga Pramada back to return. Pramada will run up on a pooch kick down to the 20-yard line, reverse field. He's in the middle of the field, fighting through, tackles to gain an extra 10 yards as he is up to the 35-yard line. So how about Unga Pramada with a nice return to answer for the Cats and give them good starting field position for the first offensive drive of the night.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to look back at the end of the game, starting field position, because both of these teams are now trying to strategically not kick it to the kick returner. So there's going to be good field position, and that the team that has a better field position might end up winning the game. I bet it does.
Jamison Niehaus underneath center for the first time tonight. Tyler England is the B-back. Kyle Smith split out to the near side. Hand off to England on first down, and he fights through tackles himself, and he's got a first down run as he gets near the 50. At the 48 is where he is brought down. It's a 13-yard rumble on first down, and he's going to be one of those players that you watch here tonight after he went for 69 yards on 11 rushes a year ago in this matchup, but he's an even better version of himself than what they saw in Week 1 last year.
Yeah, Tyler has looked good so far this season. Fingers crossed he stays healthy all year. That's what we want to hope for him all year long.
This Mason City defense has given up 650 rushing yards this year, giving up 325 yards a game on the ground. Handoff to England, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage and driven back. So he gets back to the 48 before he's pushed back by a whole host of defenders, including Sam Collins, the weak side linebacker for Mason City.
You're not going to be able to break everyone loose, but it was good to see the Bobcats, hey, you guys started out with the 10-yard run, we'll start out with the 10-yard run as well.
Bobcats looking for the play call to the near sideline. Unga Pramana, Aiden Smitherman are the slot backs. Tight end and Jacob Hayes is out there on the right side of the formation. Near side split out Kyle Smith. Niehaus underneath center. Barks out the signals, brings Pramana in motion, loses the handle on it, gathers it back in, and the Bobcats will scramble ahead for a 1-yard gain. So Niehaus catches a break there. It'll set up a long third down and 9 yards to go for the offense. A little bit slow getting that play call in, and then obviously you have that, and then the snap, the exchange not good. It seemed like a little bit of not quite the focus where it needs to be on offense and defense early on.
You know, Coach might have something right there when he says the extra festivities might lose focus of them on the field. This first quarter, this has probably been the worst quarter for the Bobcats all season.
Yeah. Niehaus underneath center on third down and 9.
Two wide receivers set. He drops back, looks to pass, screen pass. It is tipped away, and getting a piece of that is Williams, the linebacker, the defensive end, Jaden Williams. So he gets a piece of it, and that'll bring up 4th down, and here comes the special teams unit for the Bobcats.
Now this is where we start talking about things like momentum here. If the Bobcats go 3 and out, the defense has to make a stop to get that momentum coming back to their side. With homecoming, you kind of have that to start, but you got to also come out and play as well. And the Bobcats have not done that to start this game.
Aishan Gongu, 4 punts this year, averaging just over 38 yards a punt. He'll get this one away, and it's a great punt down to the 12, maybe 13-yard line, and it's fair caught by Drayden Witt, and that is where Mason City will start out. So the first offensive drive goes nowhere. Bobcats have to punt it away to Mason City, and this will be their worst starting field position of the night at the 13-yard line.
Yeah, let's see if the Bobcats can capitalize on this poor field position. You know, if we can flip the field back into our favor. That was a great punt. You know, that's one thing in my, 4 years watching the Bobcats, we've always had good kickers and punters.
Yep.
And that in itself can help your team out here. So let's see if we can capitalize on D.
Yeah, field position at high school level, so key. And a full start by the Mason City Riverhawks on their first down play. They brought Drayden Witt in motion, and that wide receiver sweep to the far side of the field, but somebody got going earlier. Looked like possibly the right guard, Landon Arhart, got going. Oh, actually, it's offside Bobcats. So the movement's not quite on that side as the Bobcats do jump offside a little bit early, setting up 1st and 5. That's the second time we've seen that tonight.
It's just more mental errors here early in the game. We're not even through the first quarter. We've got to get focused. There's plenty of time to still come back.
High snap. Falls brings it down, and flags fly as Falls was getting ready to scramble to the line of scrimmage. And a false start this time to bring up 1st and 10. So just trade off 5 yards.
Restart it all. You know, in high school, though, with them in shotgun, if we can push them back at all and that quarterback starts standing on the goal line, those nerves start coming a little bit.
Bobcats had a sack in this game last year. Hansen was sacked in the end zone by Jamison Niehaus, and that got the Bobcats to 26-25, but were never able to overcome that deficit. 3 down linemen for the Bobcats, showing a little bit of blitz. Dane Hansen gets the handoff around left tackle. He'll go as he'll scramble ahead for 3-4 yards on 1st down, setting up 2nd and 6.
It's good to see about 3 Bobcats get onto the football there, coming off that pile, tackling them. Gang tackling is how they're going to have to do it because they have not been able to wrap up one-on-one.
4 minutes to go in this opening quarter of play. Riverhawks on top, 14-7, as they have 2nd down and 6 from the far side hash. They'll break the huddle with Falls in the shotgun. Hansen standing to his left. 2 wide receivers split out to the far side of the formation. Bring Hobart in motion out of the left slot. Falls tucks it, runs, now looks to fire
Good
late.
Defense.
And it's a great breakup. Drake Gersma on the spot. They were targeting Ty Sanchez-Evans, the tight end, but incomplete. 3rd down and 6.
That's the exact same move he tried to do when the touchdown pass earlier in the game. This time he was successful at batting the ball away. You'll see his left hand going around the backside, and the right hand bats the ball down.
So good play by the free safety to move up and on the coverage of the tight end right there. Jameer Falls looked like he had a little bit of room to wiggle with, but ended up passing it late. And a timeout as we only have 7 seconds on the play clock, as it looked like the Riverhawks were making a few adjustments late. They'll take a timeout, and we'll take a timeout as well. We'll get you a scoreboard update when we come back. This is Bobcat Football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
I had a busy week, and then you get here and you realize, I forgot to take the Unidome rejoins we had last year. So that's why you're seeing the UNI Panther right there. Although we went to UNI,
I thought
so
it was because we were Panthers.
We've got that Panther pride and the Panther connection here in the booth. It's 3rd down and 6. Falls is going to roll out to the near side. He's looking to pass, pressure in his face, dumps it off to Sanchez Evans at the 20, and wrapped up by 3 Bobcats, and it will be close to a 1st down, and I believe he has it by a yard. It is a 7-yard pickup through the air to move the chains with 3:30 and counting here in the first quarter. All right, I know a few games started at 7. We got a quick scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank.
Yeah, Newton leads Bondurant 20-7 in the second quarter. Roland Story and West Marshall tied at 7. A close game, just like we thought about it before this one. Ankeny leads Roosevelt 21-0 end of the first quarter. Sadell leads Des Moines North 7-0 in the second. Grundy Center leads DNH 7-0 in the first.
Hand off to Hansen on 1st down. Bowls over Kyle Smith, and it will be a 1st down run of 11 yards. Hansen just running over Bobcat after Bobcat here tonight. So 1st down and 10 at the 35-yard line now for Mason City.
Yeah, the Bobcats got to figure out how to stop this run game, how to stop Hansen. Gang tackling seems to be the way, but we've got to all get to the ball here.
Scrambling off the field, Trenton Kruger, the senior wide receiver, late. Drayden Witt is split out to the top side. Hobart now comes in motion from the near side. A wide receiver sweep. Jamison Niehaus was on him, but got around him at the 40. He's going to be nearly pushed out of bounds, and finally Permana gets a piece of him just shy of the sticks. I believe it's going to be a 9-yard gain on the wide receiver pitch to the far side of the field. That's what they love. They love to work with so much room to that far side of the field when the ball's on the near side hash. We see a couple flags. I believe it might have been holding on Niehaus as he was trying to fight through a blocker and get around that edge to get Hobart, so it could be coming back. But again, that's things to key in on. I know they want to get Hobart in space. That's the name of the game.
I mean, if you see him, he gets into a gear that I'm not sure many Bobcats have out here. So once he gets into space and gets going, it could be trouble, but we're moving the ball back. That's what we like to see. What is that, 1st and 20 now?
Yeah, a block in the back, and there it came late. It was near Niehaus, but it was the corner. I believe Smitherman was getting blocked in the back on that play, so that will put Mason City way behind the chains. 1st down as Falls drops back to pass. A wide receiver screen, actually a running back screen to Dane Hansen, and he's back to the line of scrimmage in maybe a yard or 2, but not much working there as Ignacio Macias in to help make the play. The defensive tackle is back this week for the Bobcats. And a year ago in this game, he had 2.5 total tackles. He'll be a key guy to keep an eye on to see what kind of playmaking ability he can do in his senior season.
Well, it's nice to have him back as well to play defensive line, to spell some of those guys that are playing both ways. Those big boys, it's not easy to hit every single play.
No, that's for sure. And going both ways for some of the defensive linemen for the Bobcats. That'll wear on you 4 quarters.
Yeah, give people some breaks.
Falls brings a snap in. It's a reverse. The running back hands it off to the wide receiver and coming to the near side. Bobcats will make a tackle. They're up near the 40-yard line to the 38-yard line as Hansen handed it off to Parker Sagance, the junior. That was Chase LaCour, number 7, as he got the end around. He had 4 rushes for 15 yards coming into this contest, but LaCour able to find a little bit of wiggle room to set up a much more manageable 3rd down and 7.
Brandon, do you have a special play or play that your high school is known for?
We were just trying to win a game.
We had the Rumble. It was a reverse similar to that.
Yeah.
That Pleasant Valley was kind of known for, and I always love a good reverse play, man. When that opens up.
That is for sure. 14-7 our score with 48 seconds to go in the opening quarter of play. It's been all Riverhawks for the most part. Aiden Smitherman with a nice 85-yard return for a touchdown off a kickoff. But other than that, I mean, it's been pretty much Riverhawks so far, and the Bobcats have 3rd and 7 out of this timeout coming back here to get their defense a nice first stop of the night as Mason City's offense has just been rolling.
Yeah, the Bobcats need to get a stop here, get a little bit of that momentum coming back. They've only got 14 yards of offensive, 14 yards on offense.
Okay.
That's
Bobcats.
what I was trying to say. Yes,
yeah.
The Bobcats. So, it's similar to the Iowa State game. The Hawkeyes came out super slow and then kind of came back here. Can, the Bobcats pick it up on offense?
Now you're just sounding like Dylan Dose.
Well, I had to, give him a little bit of a shout out. I mean,
shout out to everybody watching in Central Washington, by the way, here tonight with Dylan, who's got who gets married during football season? Come on, let's go. 3rd and 7. Here we go. Falls out of the shotgun. He's got a 4 wide receiver set to the far side of the field, a diamond formation, and the Bobcats want a timeout. Duncan Furch, the defensive coordinator, will call for it. So a little mano-a-mano here, trying to see in the matchup game.
Yeah, they saw what the look that Mason City gave them. They spread them out, and Duncan Furch says, you know what? I want to make sure we've got the right personnel out there so we can make this stop. He knows how big this 3rd down is. This is a very important play right here at the end of the first quarter.
Great crowd on hand here tonight. It is homecoming for the Marshalltown Bobcats as homecoming in court announced on Wednesday. And, of course, honored before our game here tonight. The class of 85 will be honored after the first quarter here tonight. Bobcats taken back to the field after the timeout after they saw the 5 wide receivers set, including a diamond formation, which they're going to go with here on 3rd and 7. And the Bobcats do have a couple corners over in that area, including linebacker Jamison Niehaus. He's split over that way as well. Jameer Falls claps for it, and the Bobcats jump offside. What are the Cats doing? Xavier Verdinez on 3rd and 7 makes it 3rd and 2.
And he gets pulled off the field right after
wow,
that.
You just out of a timeout.
You got to see that coming.
Yeah, exactly. And that is the 3rd time tonight the Bobcats have jumped offside, and it's only the first quarter.
Defensive linemen are told, watch the ball, don't listen to the count. Who cares what the quarterback says? Once that ball moves, you can go.
3rd and 2, handoff to Hansen. Met in the backfield, and it's Zach Wilder, but Hansen breaks out of the tackle. He'll scramble forward, but now finishing off the tackle, Logan Hoffman. How about the senior finishing off the play, bringing up 4th down and 3. Zach Wilder absolutely blew up this play as he blitzed in, and Hansen looked like he was wrapped up for about a 3-4 yard loss, but somehow fought out of it. And that's the thing, the Bobcats have not been wrapping up here tonight. They've seen Hansen bounce off of tackle after tackle, and 4th down and 3, and it looks like they will punt it away, but you never know with Mason City here.
Yeah. If Coach can just pull up what Hoffman did at halftime and show everybody
that
a
wrap
replay
up,
of that, that's how they need a tackle. There was no chance he was getting out of that.
And with 2 seconds on the play clock, time expires in the first quarter. 14-7. Bobcats look to get the ball back when we come back for the start of the second on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects. From learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
and gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Welcome back to Leonard Field. It's homecoming tonight for the Marshalltown Bobcats as the class of 75 and 85 honored here. They were in the parade the other night as well on Wednesday.
They were. A couple nice floats. A lot of people on those floats, too, for 75 and 85. Good representation there and here tonight.
Carter Long to punt away on 4th down and 2, and he'll get it away as Kyle Smith is back to return at the 25. He'll call for the fair catch, and that's where the Bobcats will take over. So the drive started at the 13, and Mason City has to punt for the first time tonight as the Bobcats will get it back trailing 14-7 with 11:54 in the second quarter.
Yeah, we saw, there was actually some action on fair catches last week in the Unidome. If you saw there, Logan Hoffman came in right at the end and pushed away a Riverhawks saying, no way, you are not touching Kyle Smith today. We're not doing that
Maybe a little
again.
Emphasis on that this week in practice, right?
There might have been, but Logan looks like he wants all the action tonight, and I think he's bringing the energy. Let's see if the Bobcats can run on this momentum that he's bringing in.
Yeah, good to see the senior out there, injured last year, out all of last year in his junior season. Bobcats will pitch it to Smitherman on first down as he comes around the right slot, and he'll get outside the numbers, but tackled after just a short gain, and so it'll bring up second down and 7 yards. But we do have a flag on the field, on the far side of the field, and the Bobcats are clapping, looking like it is on Mason City here.
I didn't see anything there, but it could be a face mask. That's near where the tackle was going on. We'll see what the white hat says here in a minute.
So the officials discuss this one out, and it is face mask, and it will be a first down for the Marshalltown Bobcats, as the officials will mark this one off. An inadvertent face mask, so
is it only 5 yards?
I believe it is only 5 if it's an inadvertent face mask, so it could be second down and 1.
I'd argue every face mask is inadvertent, right?
For the most part.
When I do it, when the Bobcats do it.
For the most part, yeah. I believe it should be second down and 1 if it is an inadvertent. Now, if it was a face mask, just straight up,
that'd be 15
it'd be
an
automatic first down, yep. Now they're taking it back. So maybe it was illegal hands to the face on one of the offensive linemen. Okay, we got the clarification from Keith. That's what the call was. So illegal hands to the face. 1st and 5. So they'll negate the run by Smitherman.
So decline accept the penalty instead of take the
result of the play. Hand off to England, right up the gut he'll go on 1st and 5, and he'll get 3 yards, bringing up second down and 2. So
2nd and 2 is much better than 2nd and 7. So I don't know exactly how that played out, but I'll take it. The Bobcats need to get a first down here. They were 3 and out their first time on offense. It's a new quarter. You're going a different direction. Let's get the first down and again, slowly build that momentum. They're only down by 7. It's not like it's a big deficit
so far.
Overcome.
Yeah. Bobcats pack it in tight in the flex bone. And a handoff to England, stretched to the near side, eaten up in the backfield, and the weak side linebacker, Sam Collins, eat him up in the backfield, and that's going to be a loss. So a 3rd down and 5 now. It's a loss of 3 for Tyler England. And it looked like Sinclair, the right guard, just didn't get on Collins at all, and that's how he was able to blow that play up.
Maybe a little play action, pop to the tight end here, Jacob Hayes, to get that first down and keep the momentum going. I could see that. I could see something to get one of these athletes in space as well.
Kyle Smith, Zane Moore split out for the Cats. Be back as England. And they fake the handoff to England. Niehaus keeps it himself. He's got big space. A first down, tackled near midfield at the 49-yard line. How about that on 3rd down and 5? Bobcats fake it to England. He was wrapped up by at least 2 Mason City Riverhawks. As we look at the replay here on KFJB-TV, that was such a great fake. We've seen Niehaus do that all season long, and then fighting through a tackle to get near midfield as the Bobcats will hurry up and get to the line of scrimmage at 1st down and 10, a yard away from Mason City territory. And now Mason City drawn offside. 1st and 5 coming up for the Cats.
And here it is, these slow chips. It's starting to feel like the Bobcats are getting the momentum again. But what a treat it is to have England and Niehaus back there as a 1-2 punch. I mean, you got to defend both of them. Both of them can break for a big play at any moment. And
that's what we've been talking about. The big plays have been created by Niehaus's ability to really hide that ball and do a good job of those fakes, because some teams have really bitten hard on those fakes this year. Niehaus underneath center with England to be back, and he keeps it, pitches out late to Pramana, trying to get around the corner, cuts it back inside. Maybe should have kept coming to the near side, but he did try to cut it back inside, and that didn't work. He only gains about a half yard up to the 45-yard line. It will bring up, is this 3rd down now?
It's second
because
down? They had an offside.
Oh, yeah, the offside. That's where I got a little bit fooled. So, yeah, it is a half-yard gain or so up to the 45-yard line. So 2nd down coming up.
Yeah, Niehaus was getting tackled there when he made the pitch, and Pramada there, athletic play to spin around, catch it, and hey, sometimes it's good to just get back to the line of scrimmage. We'll try again here.
9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Cats down by a touchdown. Hand off to England, right side. He's got a big seam as he follows his right tackle coming through. As leading the way was Xavier Verdina, his left tackle, as helped fight through a few tackles, and he's down inside the 40 at the 38-yard line. But good job right there by England. He's so patient at times to know whether he needs to just shoot through the gap or find the big guys to follow for that first down.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about his vision there. He sidestepped right away, found the hole, and was able to gain some yardage there. I played in the Wishbone my first couple of years of high school before we got a new head coach, and I was interested to see how he's going to do in that role. It's not very thick, but he's playing well between the tackles.
Niehaus barks out the signals, fakes the handoff, brings it out, puts a stiff arm out at the 40, down to the 30. He's around the edge. Can he beat Hansen to the end zone?
It's in.
Is he in? Officials not ruling it a touchdown. I believe they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line, pushed out of bounds. It's a 37-yard run for Jamison Niehaus. Another great fake to England. He put a stiff arm out and was able to get past Mason City and finally brought down at the 1-yard line. So Jamison Niehaus with a huge gain and a first down, and it will be 1st and goal in the red zone for the Bobcats, as we do have a Bobcat down behind the play. Jonathan Schaefer bumped up again, but here it goes, Niehaus on the replay.
Yeah, you get tackled into the pylon like that.
I think that's a touchdown.
It's tough to not call it a touchdown because all the ball has to do is break the plane. That's it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that run right there at the end of the play as did his leg? No, his legs were in. That's a touchdown. Man, can we get the replay here?
Hey, Goodvin, throw the red flag. We'll win this challenge.
So it's a 37-yard run as the Bobcats get into the red zone. Ethington Heating and Cooling red zone. Ethington Heating and Cooling, we're not comfortable until you are. So a timeout on the field is Jonathan Schaefer kind of dealing with a left knee issue. He was checked out earlier on the defensive side, and now this side on the offensive side he was checked out, so hopefully he is all right. But good position for the Bobcats to try to tie this game up at 14-all, as they'll have it 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. And this is no other than, Zach, I know you're new to the mix, but this is the cat claw coming right here.
Yeah?
Dave knows what's up.
Is this the same thing? What was it? The tush push that Philly does?
But we name it the cat claw. As Niehaus will be underneath center, and that's a false start on the Bobcats. And we will not see the cat claw. So the Bobcats got moving too early. Niehaus looked like he got underneath center and almost started pushing just a little bit before the snap came from Carlos Estrada.
I think Niehaus, a little upset he didn't get the touchdown earlier. Was ready to get in the end zone.
I think he was. So 1st and goal for the Bobcats now at the 6-yard line with 8:12 to go in the second quarter of play.
Bobcats need to punch it in here, tie the game. That would be a huge momentum swing.
Kyle Smith split out to the near side in the flex bone. He also will bring Pramada in motion. He'll keep it himself. He'll scramble ahead for a few yards, and it will set up 2nd and goal from the 3. It's a 3-yard pickup.
We're talking about how the Riverhawks haven't been afraid of contact. I mean, the quarterback for the Bobcats is also looking for contact, lowering his shoulder, trying to drive his way into the end zone here. That's good to see.
61 yards of rushing on 4 carries now for Jamison Niehaus. It's a nice first half of action, but the Bobcats still trailing by a score. So 2nd down and goal at the 3-yard line. Smitherman, Pramada, the slots. The be-back is England, and the snap is fumbled. They go down for it. And things look goofy on that play as well. Almost looked like a false start or somebody jumping offside for Mason City. Couldn't quite see that play. The officials are standing over all the players trying to make a determination. And I believe we should have a false start on this. I don't think it's a fumble.
The one bad thing about Niehaus playing on defense as well, him and Carlos Estrada have been out of sync here tonight. This is the second.
Looked like the backup center was in there. Ignacio Macias
was going
in
on?
there on that last play. So
but
maybe
Niehaus
a new center causing a little bit of a disruption in the snap.
It could be that, but Niehaus not coming off the field to practice that. He's going to have to.
And they're going to give Mason City the football at the 3-yard line. That is tough.
That is tough. All that momentum that you were building just swings back to the other side there with the Riverhawks, although they are right there in their end zone.
So at the 37-yard gain by Niehaus and then a fumbled snap, I couldn't tell. It looked. We didn't have a great look from Keith's shot on there as well as it. I couldn't tell if Mason City was coming at the ball at the same time, and that's what caused it. But anyway, confusion over the snap.
Snap count would be my guess.
And a turnover as a fumble by Niehaus gives it back to Mason City.
This is where the defense has to step up. If we can do a 3-and-out here, if we can get a safety, anything to get that momentum back.
Falls, and wow, the Bobcats just undisciplined tonight. That is the 4th offside penalty on the Bobcats.
Mental errors, Brandon. Mental errors. We are doing it to ourselves.
Just brutal. So the Bobcats run into Mason City and pick up 5 free yards and bail them out of their own end zone as Falls was getting ready to take the snap, standing in the end zone. And it will be 1st and 5 at the 9-yard line. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Falls out of the shotgun. He's got Hansen to his left. Claps. The Bobcats showing blitz. As it was Kobe Ruring who blitzed out of his linebacker spot, was the man to make the first contest, getting the pressure. Falls, steps out of pressure. He's got huge space. He's got a first down up to the 30, comes to the near side, slips off the tackle, and out of bounds over the 35 at the 37-yard line. He runs into the cat bench. And boy, the Bobcats just playing extremely undisciplined football here in this first half of play.
Yeah, there was nobody with eyes on the quarterback. They were sending a blitz there, and he found the seam and broke free.
Yeah, and it looked like on that play that Gaston Ferris, who's also back this week for the Bobcats, almost had him in the end zone and then just didn't even know that Falls was right there by him. And Falls ran right out of the end zone and all the way down to the 37-yard line. Ball in the near side hash with 7:07 on the clock in the second quarter. Snap is back to Falls out of the shotgun. Rolls out to the far side of the field. Finds Ty Sanchez-Evans at the 40. And he's fighting through a Zane Moore tackle. Finally brought down at the 45-yard line. An 8-yard gain sets up 2nd down and 2.
Yeah, that's a tough one there for the Bobcats. They were able to find the soft spot in the zone. Connects. Got him down right away to get to 2nd down here, but just 3 plays ago, they were inside their own 10-yard line.
Yeah. 2nd and 2, ball on the near side hash for Falls. Hansen to his left. 2 wide receivers out to the near side. Hansen, seam right up the middle. He's got a first down over the 50, brought down at the 46-yard line in Bobcat territory. And Hansen just bruising here tonight, but right there was just nobody at home, and he had a big seam right up the middle.
It looks like the Bobcats are blitzing, trying to send that pressure, but when you blitz, you got to blitz with your head up. You got to see they're going right past the running back right there, which allowed him to get past the defensive line, the linebackers, and then your defensive backs all of a sudden are out on an island having to make a tackle.
1st and 10 as they'll break the huddle with 3 wide receivers. Bring Hobart in motion to the near side. Flip it to him underhand. He comes around the edge at the numbers, cuts it back in at the hashes, reverses field all the way to the far side of the field. Bobcats got way off their pursuit angles as he'll finally be brought down at the 22-yard line. It's a huge run for Drew Hobart as the Bobcats just lost containment, and Hobart saw nothing but space to the far side of the field as he picks up the first down.
It looks like we got a Bobcat down here by midfield as well.
And the Bobcats have, I believe, a player down on the field back at the line of scrimmage. I believe it's Declan Green. And no, yes, it is Declan Green. As he gets up, I think he got the wind knocked out of him. It kind of looked like initially as he was trying to catch it. Hansen was trying to help him up off the turf, but he wasn't taken. He probably needed a second to gather his breath right there as he'll get up. And hopefully Declan Green is all right as he'll be helped off the field. Isaiah Cox, assistant coach there to help along with the trainer. But that is a huge run. It gets it down to the 22-yard line. And Mason City right now, they can just do whatever they want, it seems like.
Yeah, they're not having any issues on offense. 2 minutes ago, game time, they were inside their own 10-yard line. Now they're right there at the 23-yard line of the Bobcats. Flip the field. The Bobcats, their heads are spinning. What can we do to slow down the Riverhawks here?
Fumble by Niehaus at the 3, so this drive started all the way at the 3. And they're looking for a 97-yard drive.
Is that fumble on Niehaus because you can't call it on the center?
Yeah, I guess. 1st and 10, falls out of the shotgun. Brings a snap down as Hansen hands it off on the end around to Ty Sanchez-Evans. Gets outside the numbers at the 10 to the 5 and pushed out of bounds. We had a late flag come in at the 15 then a flag at the line of scrimmage at the snap. And so there could be a couple penalties. I saw some blocking in the area where that flag flew. So could be potentially holding and maybe a false start. We'll see here in a moment from the officials who will get this sorted out. But it was 1st and 10 at the 22. But the reverse pitch from the running back at Hansen to Ty Sanchez-Evans got it at 1st and goal at about the 5-6 yard line before he was finally pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, this is a little new for us. Most of the flags have happened before the snap of the ball. So something against the Bobcats, something against the Riverhawks.
And a holding call on the Bobcats. I didn't see the indication from the official on what the call was on Mason City, but I did see, the Bobcats, but I did see
holding on Mason City.
Hands to the face on the Bobcats was the call, and holding on Mason City. So we'll do it all over again, 1st and 10.
Reset and try again.
Hansen lines up to the left of his quarterback in Jameer Falls out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the near side. High snap. Falls does go back and brings it down. Now he'll pass to Witt out in the flat. Kyle Smith wraps up way too high. Witt flies out of the tackle initially, and then finally it is Tyler England that was there to wrap him up and bring him down. But that was an issue last week. Kyle Smith tackling a little bit too high. And in the end, with the pass from Falls, it ends up in a 2-yard loss, but it could have been much more than that.
Could have been much more, but he wrapped him up enough for his teammates to get there. And that's the good thing. Now, yes, we would love to see him hit a little bit lower. He's so tall. He's a skinny guy.
It is hard to get down there when you're that tall.
It is tough to get down there, but as a skinny guy, he needs to get down there for leverage. That'll help him bring the players to the ground.
2nd and 12 for Mason City after the 2-yard loss and the pass to Witt to the near side. Now they'll bring Hobart in motion to sweep to the far side of the field. He's got Hansen blocking in front of him.
Again.
And Kyle Smith tackles too high again and flies off of the wide receiver in Hobart. He spins ahead for 1 yard, but at least the contact by Kyle Smith was enough to let all the other Bobcats get in there, including Zach Wilder and Jamison Niehaus, to make the tackle. And it will hold Mason City to a 1-yard gain. So ball on the far side hash. It is 3rd down and 11 yards to go back at the 23-yard line.
At least Kyle got him to move back to the inside as well. That's what he's got to do at corner, is that outside contain. Nobody gets outside of you over there.
So 3rd and 11 as they break the huddle with 2 wide receivers to the far side of the formation. They'll bring Hobart in motion to the near side. And they'll pass over the middle of the field to Ty Sanchez-Evans. Turns around, fights for the 15-yard line, and he'll be short of the 1st down. And it is a solid gain, but we do have a flag down on the field, as it looks to be about a 7-yard gain or so for Ty Sanchez-Evans. And we'll see if the Bobcats will decline it and bring up 4th down, or if Bobcats will back him up and do 3rd down again. As I'm not sure if this is holding or what the call is.
Sanchez-Evans came in with 6 receptions. I think he's got about 6 tonight. He seems to be the favorite target.
These officials take a little while here tonight. They're still discussing the play and still talking. And finally, now our head official is going to come over and ask the Bobcats what they want to do here. Boy, officials have illegal man downfield on the pass is the call. So it'd be 4th down and about 3, but the Bobcats are going to take the penalty and make it a long 3rd down and 15.
I think he's trying to push him out maybe out of field goal range. So if they get to 4th down, there's no choice. They've got to go for it.
Officially 3rd down and 16 from the far side hash. That diamond wide receiver formation to the near side of the field. Falls, looks back to pass over the middle field, tucks it, brings it down, and he'll be rumbled by Jamison Niehaus at the 19-yard line. And it will bring up 4th down and 7. So that ends up panning out in a little bit more of a favorable field position for the Bobcats, as it's about a 3-4 yard difference from what they would have had. And it looks like the field goal unit is going to come out here for the field goal. Cam Bjungen is on for the field goal at the 27-yard line is where they have it spotted for a 37-yard field goal. It's blocked. Bobcats. Talon Holstead got a piece of it, and the Bobcats will cover it up, and it is blocked. Talon Holstead, the tall defensive end with his lanky arms, gets in and blocks the field goal attempt from 37 yards out by Cam Bjungen. And here we get the look at the replay, and a huge play by Talon Holstead right there.
Yeah, if the Bobcats want to hang their hats on anything in this first half, it's special teams. They've already got a kickoff return for a touchdown. They had a great punt in the first quarter that flipped the field, and now a blocked kick there. They got to be feeling good on special teams. I just wish every play was a special teams play at this point.
Missed field goal of 37 is blocked by Talon Halstead, and now with just 2:54 to go before halftime, Bobcats have a chance to answer after fumbling at their own, or at the Mason City 3-yard line. So Mason City goes on a long drive. Niehaus keeps it himself on 1st down. Pitches to Smitherman, dives back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a half yard. It will bring up 2nd and a long 9 to come here.
Yeah, the Bobcats finally saw some success on that last drive. Niehaus was lowering his shoulder. Travis England was able to see a couple holes open up for him. We now got Jacob Hayes back out on the field. Let's see what the Bobcats do here. I do feel like we're going to see him put it in the air.
Aiden Smitherman has not had a whole lot of success out of that slot, and the pitch so far this year, just 26 yards of rushing, and that actually came on a 26-yard touchdown rush. So outside of that, teams have read him pretty well all season long. The end around as the Bobcats come to the near side. Unga Pramana gets the carry, and he's back to the line of scrimmage. No, he's not. He's tackled for 2-yard loss. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 11 as we tick under 2 minutes to go before halftime.
Yeah, the clock is ticking away here. Mason City not using any timeouts. They've only got one left here in the first half, but they wanted to try to make a stand. They could have called the timeout to stop the clock and conserve as much time as possible. It almost looks like Goodvin's trying to use as much time as possible.
Niehaus underneath center.
5 seconds to go on the
2
play
wide
clock.
receivers set, and he's going to pitch it to Ungar Pramana, who loses the football, pushed away, and Mason City has it as it is recovered by Damian Blackwell, the sophomore, inside the 15 as he got it at about the 13-yard line, and Mason City is going to have it on the doorstep right before halftime with 1:24 to go.
Yeah, mental errors, Brandon. That's really what it is. The flags, that fumble right there, the fumble earlier, not knowing the snap count, it's all mental errors.
Pramana on the same play last week also fumbled in that scenario. We do have a flag down on the field, so I did not see it initially, but it was out there. Dane Hansen, the linebacker, has his hands up in the air, wondering what's going on. Helmet to targeting is the call on the Riverhawks. And that will be on number 54, Kennick Brown. He's an offensive lineman, starter, and a linebacker / defensive lineman, and he is out of this game for targeting. And that actually came after the fumble, I believe. I believe the fumble happened, and he was the one that pushed Pramana away. Not sure if we can get a better look at that as the end of the play comes here.
Nope, there's the helmet-to-helmet right there.
Yeah, and I believe it was on 50. Is it on? They ruled 54, I believe, Kennick Brown, but
looked like number 1.
They give it to Bobcats. Jamison Niehaus. No, I'm saying for Mason City. Niehaus drops back, looks to pass. He's got Zane Moore wide open, but it's a duck. Zane Moore works back for it, and it's broken up. Witt and in there to make the play, Thomas Medlin helped to break up that play, Zach.
Yeah, it just didn't come out of his hand right there, so it was a duck in the air, didn't get the velocity and the strength that he wanted on the ball. If he gets it into a spiral in the way that we've seen him throw the ball, I think that could have gone.
Could have been a big play, for sure.
Could have been a big play.
Yeah.
It'll
set up second down and 10.
I'm going to sound like my mom here a little bit. That penalty bails them out there. It's still the mental errors that they've got to clean up. We can't hang our hat on that penalty.
Yeah,
We've got to get
sure.
into this game with a minute left.
Niehaus underneath center, hands off to England. He'll go off of left guard, fights through a few tackles, and he breaks a tackle. Jonathan Shaper nearly blocking in the back, but here goes England down the far side, and he is dropped at the 15-yard line and pushed out of bounds as Drayden Witt makes the touchdown-saving tackle. I was worried. I saw Jonathan Shaper nearly block Dane Hansen, the linebacker, in the back, but he brought his hands back in time, apparently, and England gets inside the 15, pushed out of bounds at the 13 for the huge pickup right there, following his big guard, Jackson Hinkle, for the play.
Yeah, you can see that vision on display there again during that replay, finding the hole there. There's not a lot of kids in the state that are going to catch up to England when he breaks away like that, but Mason City seems to have some speed.
England again on first down, the carry off of left tackle, down inside the 10, brought down at the 9-yard line. It will be a gain of 3 as the clock just ticking away here. 50 seconds to go before halftime.
Goodvin does have 2 timeouts here. We'll see how he manages the clock. This is where the coaches make the big bucks.
Niehaus looking to the near side as well as the Bobcat offense, down to 35 seconds to go in this first half of play. The crowd is getting antsy. It's a hurry up and run a play. Niehaus underneath center. 2 wide receivers split out. He'll fake the handoff, bring it back. Here goes Drake Gersma. He's in at the slot. Cuts it back in at the 5. We're going to see a penalty on the Bobcats. I believe Zane Moore, the wide receiver, might have had a little bit of a push in the back and a block, and this could be coming back. And the bad thing about it is we're down to 18 seconds in this first half.
He's got 2 timeouts. I can kind of understand calling a timeout after second down, after third down if you need it. But, yeah, the crowd really wanted that ball to be snapped.
Here we look at the replay, all brought to you by Tyler Prashong Agency, and Noah Smitherman with the block in the back on Hobart. I knew it was somebody to the near side. I kind of saw the corner of my eye, but it was Smitherman, in fact, with the block in the back, and this will push the ball all the way back to the 19-yard line. So, you let all that time run off, and now you kind of shoot yourself in the foot because you've got first or second down and very long. Not only are you looking for the touchdown, but you've only got 18 seconds to go in this first half.
I mean, at this point, the first down does not matter. It's touchdown or bust here.
Yep.
Although you've got 2 timeouts, you can take a couple shots here at the end zone. You can run the ball. The whole playbook is open to you. And you also have to understand you can take a field goal here, go into halftime 10-14. They get the ball to start the second half. So any points here would be great just to score 2 times in a row for the Bobcats.
So second down and long coming up for the Bobcats as they're backed up to the 19-yard line. So second down and 17. Ball on the near side hash as Niehaus is underneath center. He's going to drop back, look to pass. He's looking, rolls out to the near side, and will look to pass it late, but the ball comes out of bounds, and it came out backwards. And so they're going to mark the ball all the way back there as the ball came out of his hands. It slipped. He did not throw forward as he got tackled as he was trying to get rid of it. And that will be a loss back to the 24-yard line. So,
is there no tuck rule in high school?
22 yards to go for the first down, 24 for the touchdown as he passed it and the ball was not in his hands as it comes flying out as we look at the replay on KFJB-TV. So now we're down to 11 seconds to go in this first half. Third down and 22 yards to go. Ball in the near side hash. Bobcats will drop back to pass. Niehaus looking into the flat, and it's almost picked. Ty Sanchez-Evans had his hands all over it at the 20 as the intended target was Aiden Smitherman, and that is 4th down and long as here comes the special teams unit as we get a look at the replays. Niehaus coming to the near side, just kind of telegraphed that pass to Aiden Smitherman. And this will line up Aaron Zambrano. He has a long of 43 yards on the season. And this will be to tie his current state lead in Class 5A at a 43-yard field goal as Kyle Smith will hold for Aaron Zambrano. Ball in the near side hash. Got to figure out the angle, and it's well off the mark. No good as it is way left, and that will nearly bring the first half to an end. They have 1 second on the clock. 14-7 is our score. Bobcats just mistake after mistake here tonight on offense and defense. Zach, I feel like they're lucky to be just within one score of this game, and they get the kickoff to receive in the second half.
Yeah, somehow Mason City has not capitalized on the mental errors of the Bobcats tonight.
No.
They only have 14 points, didn't even score in the second quarter. Right? Mason City's got all their points in those first 2 drives, and somehow the Bobcats, down 7 points here. It's still within reach.
Mason City looks to just need the ball to end this first half and still have a 14-7 lead heading to halftime. Bobcats offside on defense 4 times in the first half. A couple of key fumbles, one by Jamison Niehaus at the 3-yard line as they were nearly in for a score to tie it up. But Mason City, the Riverhawks, with the lead at the break on KFJB-TV.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown. With their extensive inventory, you're sure to make a winning selection when you shop McGregor's for your bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings. McGregor's has the right play for every room in your home. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is proud to be your locally owned and operated furniture store since 1896 and very proud to support Bobcat Athletics again this season. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
From preschool to graduation day, Marshalltown Community School District prepares students for success in a global world. Embrace the lead with curriculum that prepares students for tomorrow's challenges, giving your child unmatched college and career advantages. Embrace the lead by developing talents beyond the classroom through extracurricular opportunities and by focusing on student well-being and whole child development. Create a global learning community right here in Marshalltown. Learn more at marshalltown.k12.ia.us.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
The Halftime Report, powered by Scouting America. Adventure on.
Halftime at Leonard Cole Field as the Bobcats trailing the Mason City Riverhawks 14-7. Let's go over our first half recap here tonight. Mason City on their first drive of the game. They started at the 28-yard line and went on a 72-yard drive to open the game as Ty Sanchez Evans catches a 15-yard touchdown pass to open up the game from Jameer Falls. In the first quarter at 7:49, leading it 7-0. But the next play, as Mason City kicks it off, Aiden Smitherman fields it at the 15-yard line. And just like last week against Waterloo East, he faked the reverse to Anga Pramada and takes it 85 yards to the house as the Cats answered back. And the PAT was good and tied this ball game at 7 apiece there in the first quarter. Our next score would come in the first quarter. Dane Hansen, the running back, a 16-yard touchdown run into that east end zone in the first quarter as he was stepping over Bobcats and ripping through tackles. Made it 14-7 at that point, and then we went scoreless for the second quarter as we would see a punt by Marshalltown, a punt by Mason City, and then Jamison Niehaus, a fumble at the 3-yard line. Him and Ignacio Macias, the exchange was bad, and so a fumble deep in the red zone in Mason City territory turned it back over. Mason City would go down the field as we take a look at the replay on that fumbled snap. There was a lot of awkwardness there. I thought it was a false start or an illegal snap on the Bobcats, but not the call from the officials. They've had a little bit of a rough go of it here in the first half from the officiating side of things, and hopefully they get that figured out for the second half, but not to count out. I mean, the Bobcats had 4 offsides, some offensive penalties as well in that first half. 43-yard field goal by the Bobcats later on. Bobcats actually, though, on that next drive after that fumble by Niehaus, They had a field goal attempt, but it was blocked by Talon Halstead. And so that would keep us at 14-7. In the next drive, Bobcats would go down the field right before halftime. With 1 second on the clock, the field goal by Aaron Zambrano was well off the mark out of the left side of the end zone. As the Bobcats driving into the east end zone, Mason said he would knee the ball for the final second of the first half, and that's where we stand. 14-7, explosive first quarter. But then after that, things really dried up on the offensive side of things. Bobcats are 2-0, trying to start the season 3-0, something they have not done since the 2019 season when they started 4-0. The Marshalltown High School Band is out on the field at halftime. Let's take a listen in to their halftime show.
You realize I'm not the right camera. It's just sitting there.
Marshalltown Bobcat Marching Band at halftime with their special agent theme. We'll be back with scores around Central Iowa on a football Friday nights on KFJB-TV.
I didn't really have much growing up, but I did have a mom. And she gave me a strong foundation. She signed me up for Scouts. I quickly fell in love with the outdoors. Showed me how to take responsibility, how to work with other people, and how to become a leader. That made me a better athlete on the field. Scouting made me the man I am today.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by Lennox Employees Credit Union, LennoxECU.com, Marshalltown Area Chamber, meetinmarshalltown.com, Marshalltown Community College, a step in the right direction, and the Marshalltown School District. Embrace the lead.
Up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard, Bobcats trailing by 7 at the break, 14-7 as Mason City leads. Now time for a Central State Bank scoreboard update. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you. Locations in Ames State Center and in West Des Moines. Zach?
Yeah, shout out Jeff Brooks back at the KFJB studio giving us these updates. End of the third quarter, Nevada is up over Ballard 6-0. It's low-scoring game, but I think that's why they're moving pretty quick. Halftime, Atuma's up 14-0 over Des Moines East. Another halftime score, Southeast Polk over Norwalk 21-13. Newton 20, Bondurant 13. That's at halftime. Ankeny 36, Roosevelt 0. Also at halftime.
Wave to the fans, Zach. There you go.
I'm not used to this. I'm having to use my hands and my mouth at the same time, you know. I'm a radio guy, Brandon. Come on now. Halftime, Gladbrook Rhinebeck is leading Colo Nesco 50-0. We got an update on our West Marshall game at halftime. West Marshall 17, Roland Story 13. Can't quite get the 28-14 that I predicted, but it could be 28-13 still in the favor of West Marshall. And got to give a shout out to our man Dylan Doe's way out on the West Coast. While Brooksy's having trouble finding the East Marshall score, the Doe's has the East Marshall score.
He's got those connections.
He does. East Marshall, though, down at halftime to North Lynn, 14-7, so they've got a little work to do to get to that 21-20 final score prediction.
That is a scoreboard update. Again, all brought to you by Central State Bank. Discover what they can do for you. Locations in Ames State Center and in West Des Moines. We'll be back with first half stats and adjustments for the second half. This is Bobcat Football. You're watching Halftime, powered by Scouting America, Mid-Iowa Council, and Venture On.
Halftime Report, powered by Scouting America. Adventure on.
Welcome back to Leonard Coalfield at the break. 14-7 is our score. Time for Hey Bobby the Bobcats.
Bobby.
Yeah, love to see a Bobby the Bobcat sighting. Hey, Wave's looking a little better than it did the other night at the parade, that is for sure. Now time to look at our stats from the first half and adjustments, all presented by Ken's Transmission of Marshalltown.
Yeah, looking at the stats here in the first half, I mean, kind of tells the story of the game, and you'd think that the Riverhawks were up much more than 7 points, as they've got a total of 140 rushing yards so far today, then another 107 through the air. Pretty balanced attack so far for the Riverhawks. They've got 2 touchdowns. One of them was a pass from Falls to Sanchez Evans, and the other one was a rush by Hansen as well, 16-yard rush. So gotten into the red zone, punched it in on those first 2 drives. Looking at the Bobcats here, they've only got 127 yards on the ground. Now remember, they had that big drive that ended up fumbling inside the 10-yard line there with a missed snap. Leading the way for the Bobcats on the ground is Tyler England. He's got that one big rush of 46 yards. We thought he could break away, but the Mason City speed has been able to catch up with him today. Then you got Niehaus on the ground with 56 yards as well. No passing yards for the Bobcats at the moment. It's really kind of been the fumble and those mental errors, whether it's been on defense with the false starts, offsides, or on offense, fumbling the ball and just not really getting anything going to start the game. So it took them a little bit to get warmed up. It's homecoming. It's exciting. Maybe the juices were flowing. Coach, calm them down at halftime, and they can come out getting the ball here to start the second half. That'll be big.
Bobcats were only up 12-7 in week number 1 against Ames, and then out of the gate, 21 points in the third quarter to run out of that game. So we'll see if the Bobcats can get some momentum receiving the second half kickoff. Dane Hansen, you mentioned him, 93 rushing yards on 11 carries here tonight. He played quarterback last year and has been moved to that tailback spot, which has been a bright spot for Mason City here tonight. All right, adjustments for the second half. What do the Cats need to do a little bit better to come out on top here tonight, trailing by 7?
Focus, focus, focus. That's what it comes down to. It just seems like they're trying to play in another game tonight. They're not here at Leonard Coalfield. They're somewhere else. Where that is, I'm not sure, but they need to find their happy place. They need to get focused so that way they can come out and have another third quarter like we've seen from the Bobcats the last few games.
Stats and adjustments all presented by Ken's Transmission, your family-owned transmission experts. 14-7 at the break. Bobcats coming back onto the field for the second half. This is Bobcat Football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Have you ever seen what it takes to fix a transmission? It takes a lot of patience, a lot of experience, and a whole lot of talent. At Ken's Transmission, they have all the above. Family owned and operated with over 62 years of experience in all areas of transmission, keeping your vehicle shifting smoothly, and routine maintenance, repair, and replacement, including automatic and manual. For reputable service you can trust, Ken's Transmission. Ken's Transmission at 306 East Anson Street in Marshalltown is a proud sponsor of the Marshalltown Bobcats.
Refinance your auto loan with Members First Community Credit Union. For a limited time, refinance your auto loan from another lender and receive 1% cash back up to $500. Scan the QR code to apply online. Call us or visit a Members First branch.
Miranda Lewis, Zach Tomesch alongside me tonight. Welcome back to Leonard Coldfield, our KFJB-TV crew tonight. David Braga, our on-site producer. Keith Stewart is roaming the sidelines tonight. Elijah Bond on camera one. Xavier Does on stats, and our very own Jeff Brooks back at the radio studios. Well, both teams back onto the field for the second half here tonight. Bobcats will get the second half kickoff to begin, and that will be the key here tonight. See how that first drive of the second half will go, as we alluded to that, and the miscues in that first half. As that's something we haven't seen a whole lot this year, and been lucky to see for the first 2 weeks of the year. But in all honesty, this is definitely the best matchup we've seen all season long. Is Waterloo East last week and Ames week 1.
Yeah, this is the best talent that we've seen out there for the Bobcats, but they need to come out this first drive and punch them in the mouth, just like the Riverhawks did when they started their first drive. They need to set the tone in the second half that, hey, this is our homecoming, this is our home field, and nobody embarrasses us like that. So we're going to come out, we're going to show you who's boss tonight.
Bobcats in the second half offensively, that's been where they've been pretty strong. 21 points in the third quarter and 13 in the fourth quarter. Also been good in the first quarter, but here tonight they were only able to get that kickoff return for a touchdown to begin this game. Both teams back out on the field, but not quite ready to go. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the second half next on KFJB-TV.
When you go home, you'll feel good about what you did, and you're doing it for the kids. If they don't have us, they don't have these games.
Week number 3 of the high school football season. Bobcats 2-0, and the Mason City Riverhawks 0-2 on the season. Be sure to hit the like button and support our broadcast here tonight. We appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe and turn on those upcoming game alerts, as you don't want to miss any notifications for upcoming broadcasts here on KFJB-TV. We've got volleyball on the road at Waterloo East on Tuesday night. Bobcat Live next Thursday night back at Wayward Social. We were able to get out and do the homecoming parade on Wednesday as we take a look at the student section here on KFJB-TV. I know enjoying all the festivities and the dances tomorrow night.
Yeah, dances tomorrow night, but Goodvin told me, that nothing feels better than winning the football game on Friday. That dance is just a little bit more fun. You can, boogie a little more oogie when you've got that victory behind you. So.
Wow. You're sounding like the class of 75 now. I was honored here tonight. Boogie Woogie.
They probably were boogie and woogieing,
Probably so. Probably so.
I don't want them to break a leg out on the dance floor. We want to keep all of our limbs intact for the season.
So 2 years ago, you called a Bobcat game, and Newton thrashed the Cats. And here tonight, we've not seen the Bobcats trail all season long, and
here we are.
Here we are. You're on the call.
Yeah, I went to the private bathroom here during halftime.
AKA the porta potty.
And I was thinking, is it me? Am I the problem here? But as I thought more, it's not me, because I've been producing the games. I've been here, so I can't be the bad luck charm.
But you can't change the rules. That's the problem.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, Dylan knows people who get married during football season. That's the real problem.
It's because he's a pastor. He'll marry anybody any day of the week.
You can't say that after I say he's the problem. Then I look like the bad guy because he officiated my wedding.
When was that? That was during football season, wasn't it?
Well, at the end of it. Century 21 kickoff is away. An angle kick towards the far sideline. Bobcats will let it go out of play as Tyler England was back to return with Aiden Smitherman. And this will give good starting field position for the Marshalltown Bobcats on their opening drive of the second half.
Hey, I'll take anything I can get at this point.
So the Bobcats will have it at the 35-yard line and start their drive there. No, they're going to make Mason City re-kick this. So Gilbert did this last week where they kicked it off 3 times out of bounds and then gave Mason City great starting field position, but then Mason City threw a pick 6.
I don't think he was necessarily trying to keep it away from anybody. I think the kick just got away from him a little bit.
All re-teed up by Cam Bugan, and it is away. A squib kick down to the 20 and inside the 20 at the 10. Aiden Smitherman fumbling it around, finally brings it in at the 15. Cuts to the far side of the field. Jacob Hayes almost a block in the back, but around the corner he goes and pushed out of bounds right at the 35. So Bobcats maybe could have just taken the penalty and wrote it off. But you try your luck, and that's where the Bobcats will start. At the 35-yard line.
It was more fun this way, and Smitherman gets some stats. You know, that's when I was playing Madden, it was all about getting the stats, right?
Fumble recovery on the play?
You know, Jacob Hayes thought about picking that up there. He may have gotten to the 35 or further as well.
He had a nice return last week against Waterloo East. So the Bobcats will try to overcome their miscues in the first half with their first offensive drive of the second half, starting at their own 35-yard line. With 2 slot backs, England the B-back, end around, they come near side. Drake Gersman, that slot back roll, spinning out of a tackle and brought down at the line of scrimmage. Not a whole lot of room to work for Drake Gersman, that slot back roll.
We got to see a handoff to England here, see if he can find a little wiggle room. Plant that foot and go.
Loss of about a half yard, so the ball just behind the initial chains at second, and we'll call it 10.5. Bobcats still looking to the near side for the play call. As it will come in, Jacob Hayes is at tight end on the right side of the formation. Kyle Smith and Aiden Smitherman split out to the far side of the formation with the lone B-back in England. They'll hand it to England. Up the gut he'll go. He bounces off a tackle and finally brought down by Thomas Medlin, but over the 40-yard line up to the 42. So a good solid gain right there of 7 yards, and it will bring up a much more manageable 3rd and 3, ball resting in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he's a little guy there. You could see him in that last play kind of stick right behind his line, find the small hole and poke through there for about 7-8 yards to set up a 3rd and manageable.
Jonathan Schaefer in at center. We saw his left knee kind of bumped up in that first half. That slides Carlos Estrada out to right tackle. Left side of the line is still the same. Bobcats will bring Smitherman in motion. Hand off to England. He's got a first down run as he is tackled just a yard over the first down marker. So a gain of 4 on 3rd and 3, and that'll move the chains.
Yeah, I think this triple option has been the best play for the Bobcats in this game today, because whether you're handing it up the gut with Tyler England there, he's been able to chip off 4, 46, somewhere in between there each time. And Niehaus here, I was drawing a blank. He's been able to get to the outside when needed as well. So this triple option has actually worked fairly well for the Bobcats.
9 carries, 82 yards for Tyler England on first down and 10. At the 46-yard line on their own side of the field. Fake the handoff. Niehaus keeps it himself. Scrambles up the middle, up to the 50. And at the 49 is where he's brought down. It's a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 as they're now in Mason City Riverhawk territory.
For that play to be successful, Niehaus has to read everything within a split second correctly. And so far, for the most part, he's been making the right read tonight.
They do mark it a yard back, so at the 50, it's a 4-yard gain on first down. Zane Moore, the lone wide receiver, split out to the top side of the formation. Ball on the far side. Hash driving towards the east end zone. Hand off to England.
There
it's
it is.
A power run off the left side. He gets outside the numbers and pushed out at the 35-yard line. How about Jamison Niehaus with a nice little sprint out to the far side of the field to gain nearly 15 yards and move the chains again.
I mean, the offensive line has looked better already in this third quarter. You can see the hole that is created just opens up. England takes it
Nice 15-yard gain there. And it's 1st and 10 at the 35 of the Riverhawks. Red and blue will get set with 10 seconds on the play clock. One wide receiver in the flex bone. Hand off to England again, and he's wrapped up. A 1-yard gain down to the 34-yard line, but a whole host of Mason City Riverhawks in there to help make the stop, including the defensive tackle and Caleb Rose.
I think the defense said, we've seen this one once or twice already on this drive, and decided to put an end to it there.
We saw targeting in that first half, and we believe it was 54 Kinnick Brown who was tossed out of the game here tonight. Starting defense, a backup defensive tackle, but starting offensive lineman. He else gets underneath center on 2nd and 10. Fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, comes out to the near side. A late pitch to Drake Gersma, spins out of a tackle and finally brought down at the 30. It's a 5-yard pickup. That was a late pitch to Drake Gersma, but he was ready for the ball right there, luckily, because he was able to get 5 yards out.
Yeah, Gersma was ready, which is great to see. What's not great to see is the way that Niehaus was handling the football there.
Loaf of bread out there. Yeah.
It's like he was trying to dribble out on the basketball court. He's got to keep that tight.
Niehaus underneath center as he pops back up and looks to the near sideline. Is maybe looking at the defensive formation. Ball now on the near side hash on 3rd down and 5 for the Bobcats. Fake the handoff. Niehaus keeps it him again, and he's tackled from behind. Didn't feel the pressure. It was Sam Collins, the weak side linebacker, who has made play after play here tonight, and he comes up with a big stop in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 3 by Niehaus.
Yeah, that's tough there. They were right on the edge of maybe field goal range, but now it looks like nope, decisions made. We're going to go for it here on 4th and 8.
Looked like a good drive going, though, here, and slowed down here on the last couple of plays.
Yeah, and even if you get stopped here, you're in enemy territory. The defense has to make those, no matter what, score or not, the defense has to make the adjustment here in the second half. So
4th and 8, Bobcats will go for it. Niehaus is going to drop back to pass. He's got Jacob Hayes, but the ball's underthrown. Pass interference on Hobart at the 10-yard line. The Cats are bailed out as Hayes was trying to reach back for the football. Hobart bumped him, and pass interference is going to be the call. Bobcats catch a break right there.
Yeah, sometimes an underthrown ball on a seam route or a fly up the sideline is the best thing for you because the defender can't do much. He's in the way.
And it was Sam Collins, again, making the play. He hit Niehaus as he tried to deliver, and that's why the ball came up short.
Yeah, but, kudos to Niehaus for sticking with it there and getting the ball out and not taking the sack. It's never fun to throw a ball when you got a guy running at your face.
So a 10-yard penalty will give the Bobcats an automatic 1st down at the 18-yard line as the Bobcats now in the Ethington Heating and Cooling red zone. Smitherman comes around the edge. They'll hand it off to England. Fights through a tackle, but driven back at the 15-yard line. That is a hard tackle. As coming up and making the play.
Is that William Blanchard?
Could not tell initially who that was, but it might have been Blanchard who came in there and made that tackle.
Yeah, England got stuck right there. The Bobcats have to capitalize. Last time they were in here, little miscue on the snap. So they got to capitalize when they're in the red zone this time around.
Yeah, so it was 16 Blanchard, who just drilled him, and it will be 2nd down and 8 on the far side hash. And they're going to go back to pass. Rolling out to the near side is Niehaus. Looking to the back of the end zone. Now tucks it, runs it at the 15, spinning out of a tackle, and he is finally brought down at the 12-yard line. So good decision right there. He's slow to get up. Kind of got that left knee bent back as he was being driven down, but it will gain a few yards, bringing up 3rd down and 5 for the Bobcats. He was looking to the back of the end zone, but Kyle Smith just not quite open enough for him.
I don't know. With Kyle, he's 6'5", 6'6". You got to maybe just throw it up there and give him a chance.
So Niehaus picks up a few yards. And 3rd down upcoming, but he was carrying Blanchard on his back, and then Blanchard kind of came down on him, and that knee kind of stuck backwards. But 3rd down and 5 as the Bobcats will line it up on the near side hash, and a timeout's going to be called by head coach Adam Goodvin with 5:05 in the 3rd quarter. Bobcats with the opening drive of the second half. This one's taken forever. They started at the 35. They're down in the red zone when we come back on KFJB-TV.
At Lennox Employees Credit Union, we take care of you like family. We're all about personal service, going above and beyond for our members. Whether it's home, auto, or other financial services, we're here for you. Take advantage of our always low interest rates or exclusive perks being a member can bring. Unlike others within personal services, at Lennox Employees Credit Union, we're all about that personal service. We find great joy meeting with our members to discuss their financial needs or big dreams. It's easy to become a member. Stop in today. Lennox Employees Credit Union, a family place.
Well, we had a great time at the Dome last week. Bobcats winning it big last week, 43-20, and now a pivotal third down and 5 yards to go for the Bobcats out of a timeout. England gets the handoff. He's got a big seam on the far side of the field, dives for the first down as he went around left tackle. He dives for the sticks on 3rd and 5. We'll see. It looks like the official is going to stop the time and bring out the sticks for a measurement, and now they're going to move the chains. It's going to be 1st and goal inside the Ethington Heating and Cooling red zone. First down chain mover for Tyler England, and he's done that, 3rd or 4th time on this drive alone here.
Yeah, this is a huge drive for the Bobcats. If you can cap it off with a touchdown while also eating off more than half of the quarter on the clock, that shows you that, yep, this is our house and we're here to play.
1st and goal at the 8. Handoff to England again. He'll go off left tackle down at the 5. It'll be a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and goal from the 5. Just that stretch play to the far side of the field, getting behind the left side of the line, which they love so much, in Xavier Verdinez and Jackson Hinkle.
Yeah, I say keep giving the ball to Tyler England here. He is patient. He finds the right hole to go through, waits for the blockers to open it up. He gets about 3 yards every time he touches the ball, so 2 more tries and he's in the end zone.
Big drive for the Bobcats to start the second half. An 8-minute drive so far, Zach.
That is brutal on the defense. They have to be gassed.
England gets the handoff, breaks a tackle at the 5, driven back as he got to the 4. Now they say just back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 5 as Tyler England not able to fight through that tackle, but good pressure by that defensive line. It looked like Caleb Rose was the man to kind of stand up the center there and help the rest of the Riverhawks flow in to make the tackle.
Looks like they're pulling a tight end. They're pulling off Jacob Hayes, putting a receiver, number 18, Zane Moore, onto the field. Could we see a pass? Or are they just trying to spread out the defense?
Niehaus underneath center with that lone B back in Tyler England. He'll drop back to pass.
Slant. Ooh, Kyle.
In and out of the hands of Kyle Smith. A slant route on 3rd and goal from the 5. It is incomplete for the Bobcats, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, Kyle knows it too.
He had it right in his hands, but I believe one of the linebackers dropped back in coverage and maybe got a fingertip on it. As we'll take a look at the replay here in a moment here on KFJB-TV. And meanwhile, Bobcats are going to march out Aaron Zambrano for the 3 points as we take a look at that slant route by Kyle Smith. And no, just dropped out of the hands. Drayden Witt was on the coverage, but not broken up. Ball spotted at the 13. It's a 23-yard field goal for Aaron Zambrano. Snap good, hold good, and field goal is good through the left side, and it is 14-10. The Bobcats go on nearly a 9-minute drive to open up the second half and draw back within 4. This is Bobcat football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Looking for top-notch eye care close to home? Eye Care Associates, with offices in Marshalltown, Conrad, and Toledo, has proudly served Central Iowa since 1990. Their expert team provides eye exams for all ages, designer frames, contact lens fittings, and treatment for glaucoma, cataracts, and other eye conditions. With advanced technology, a welcoming staff, and convenient online booking, your next visit is easier than ever. Visit VisionSource-MarshalltownEyeCare.com today. Eye Care Associates, your vision is their priority.
Well, the Bobcats had 1st and goal, but not able to punch it in. And from 23 yards out, Aaron Zambrano makes it 14-10 with the field goal. An 8-minute and 55-second drive to open up the second half. It is a statement drive, but you would have felt much more like it was a statement drive if they would have punched it in for 6.
It would have been great to get a touchdown, but you needed 2 scores to take the lead at the end of the day. I don't care when you get them. but you just need to get the 2 scores. 9-minute drive there sets the tone, or excuse me, 11-minute drive. No, 9-minute drive. I was thinking 15.
8:55.
Yeah, 9-minute drive. So
Century 21 kickoff as Innocent Ashigalungu will have it teed up at the 40-yard line. Drayden Witt as well as Dane Hansen are back to return. And they're going to play Drew Hobart a little bit short at the 20-yard line. They're going to pooch it away, and Innocent will nail this one out of bounds. And most likely Mason City will have the Bobcats re-kick it in this situation. So Mason City kick the second half kickoff out of bounds, and now the Bobcats match them.
They're playing keep away from these returners as they are dangerous. But, you know, the defense, while the offense showed up and has this big drive, caps it off with some points, the defense now has to show up and stop the run game. They cannot let the ball go up the middle. That's where they've been gashed all game by Dane Hansen.
Ashigalungu will move it back to the 35 as he'll now kick it off. So Bobcats down by 4 as the defense will head out to the field after this kickoff for the first time in the second half. And they're going to pooch it to the near side this time. Ty Sanchez-Evans will catch it at the 35-yard line. Jukes out Zane Moore, gets up to the 40, carrying a Bobcat on his back. That is Declan Green, and gets over to the 50 into Bobcat territory at the 47-yard line. So great starting field position for the first drive of the second half for Mason City.
You know, for all those Mason City players that aren't playing both ways, they warmed up, they cooled down again during halftime. They warm up after halftime. Now they cool back down. Let's see how those legs are feeling for the offense.
Think about Mason City. A lot of guys go both ways, though. That is for sure. But a few of those offensive linemen don't go both ways. It's first down and 10 at the 47 on the near side hash for Jameer Falls. Snaps it. Mason reverse to Ty Sanchez-Evans. Gets around right tackle. He's got a first down. Kyle Smith can't tackle him and bring him down. Finally brought down at the 25-yard line. As making the tackle late is Logan Hoffman, who's been about the only cat who really wants to wrap up and drive somebody to the turf. And finally, Sanchez-Evans brought down at the 24-yard line. It's a big gain on first down for Ty Sanchez-Evans on the end around.
That's tough to see if you're a Bobcat fan for multiple reasons. One, obviously you don't want to see Mason City with a big run, but all that momentum you had on that drive goes away right there, and Mason City's starting to feel good again.
22-yard run for Sanchez-Evans. Fake the handoff to Mason, come out to the near side to Hobart. And he'll fly past Jamison Niehaus, who's down on the turf with maybe a cramp. And Hobart's down to the 5-yard line after juking out Jamison Niehaus. And Niehaus is trying to get stretched out with a cramp. His assistant coach Isaiah Cox will come out and help him out. But he cramped up right away. You could see him just drop to the turf after he got juked out by Hansen.
Yep.
Hobart, excuse me.
I felt that before. Last Saturday morning, let me tell you, I woke up, couldn't get out of bed. That's 32 for you.
And Hobart with the pass from Jameer Falls, getting down to the 5-yard line. And I believe that one might have been behind the line of scrimmage. So I believe they're going to count that one on our official stats as a run of 19 yards down to the 5-yard line. So take a look at the crowd enjoying homecoming here tonight as the Bobcats on defense, seeing Jamison Niehaus being stretched out on the field. He dealt with some cramps week number 1. Then we got a dome visit, a controlled climate environment, and then much warmer here tonight. We're still hanging out right around 77 degrees, a warm night, and obviously one of the defensive leaders in Jamison Niehaus, one of the leading tacklers from a year ago. And so far this year, he's been all around the ball. Had 4.5 total tackles and a safety last year in this game.
I know Niehaus is an athlete. I know he loves the contact. It's tough for me to see a quarterback go both ways, even in high school, because you get this, how is he going to feel on offense? I know Jacob Hayes is great to step in at any moment, but you don't have that luxury all the time. And when Hayes is gone next year, does Niehaus go both ways again? Be nice to see him really focus in on one side.
First and goal at the 5 for Mason City as they spread it along the line as 2 wide receivers to the near side. As Falls calls for it, hands it off to Hansen. He's going to stretch to the far side. Hoffman's trying to get there, but not in time. It's a 5-yard touchdown run, his second rushing touchdown of the night for Dane Hansen. It answers the 3 points for the Bobcats, and Mason City now leading 20-10.
Yeah, that took him, all of a minute and a half to get that done. There's some big chunk plays that were happening, and this is all speed right here from Hansen. Just sees the outside pylon and beats everybody to it.
Swinging gate lineup initially for Mason City. They'll bring everybody back for the PAT attempt for Carter Long. His third PAT attempt of the night. And it is driven through, and he is 3 of 3 on the night with the BATs, and it makes it 21-10. Third quarter, 2:08 to go. Bobcats get the ball back when we come back on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
Craving something sweet and savory? Head to your Marshalltown Dairy Queens, 711 North 3rd Avenue and 2107 South Center Street. Try the Blizzard of the Month, the new Caramel Toffee Cookie Blizzard, or that fall favorite, the Pumpkin Pie Blizzard. 2 delicious options, but hurry, they're only here for a limited time. And don't miss a DQ Classic, 4-piece chicken strip baskets for just $7.49 all month long. All white meat strips, crispy fries, warm Texas toast, and your favorite dipping sauce. Get yours now at Marshalltown Dairy Queens.
Bobcats now in an 11-point hole. As we see Ann Vance going through her photos that she was shooting tonight. Bobcats, that was a really momentum-killing drive right there for the Bobcats. Give up a 47-yard drive. Dane Hansen punches in a 5-yard touchdown, and this game has really shifted back the other way. It felt like the Bobcats really missed their opportunity on that last drive when they had to settle for 3 instead of punching it in for 6 and tying this game up.
I think that's where all the momentum starts to go back to the Riverhawks' favor. You know, you don't punch it in there off that long drive. That feels almost like a win for Mason City.
Century 21 kickoff is away, and it's back to the 1-yard line as Tyler England will pick it up. He's going to come to the near side of the 15 and slips at the 25-yard line. He had a little bit of room as he gets up.
He knows it.
And flexing, and he is not flexing in celebration, but more of frustration that he thought he had more of a chance to go further. But at the 25-yard line is where he will slip after picking it up at the 1-yard line and reversing field. Got a block from Aiden Smitherman, and then Smitherman dropped to the ground. I don't know if he threw his shoulder out of place or what happened, but he kept grabbing that right shoulder, and he still is. And that's a guy who's been bumped up quite a bit this season. Last week he was out the second half. He had a celebration. He came down on his knee wrong. And then here tonight, he's got that right shoulder bothering him as he's helped up off the field. So,
Coach Isaiah Cox out there to help out his player.
Unga Pramana started at slot here tonight, and then we saw him come out. Drake Gersma eventually came into the game and replaced him. And so now Smitherman will have a replacement at the slot back, which will be Zach Wilder, who is now in there on the right side of the offensive line. So Gersma and Zach Wilder, the B-backs for Tyler England. Jamison Niehaus looks to be okay after cramping up on that last defensive drive. He'll fake the handoff, pitches it to Zach Wilder, who drops down and does not recover it. Mason City has it at the 16-yard line, and Zach Wilder got taken down awkwardly. It looked like he had a chance to recover it and then got kind of tackled out of the play, and he is still down on the turf.
Yeah, you can feel it in the stadium now with the crowd here. The Mason City crowd was just much louder. I mean, we still got full stands here on the Bobcat side, and you can almost hear a pin drop.
I mean, how you letting Drew Hobart just wreck your night like that? But Zach Wilder, linebacker, got taken out, and Bobcats just the big thing here tonight. They had a great opportunity in front of them, end a 3-game losing streak against Mason City, go to 3-0 for the first time since 2019 to begin a season. But here tonight, they've been in their own way. That's really this game. I mean, it's Mason City's made a lot of really nice plays, but again, Bobcats with penalties, some fumbles, just not great play as far as execution, and right there, another one, the pitch just not brought in, and this game is just going in the wrong direction in a quick, fast hurry.
Yeah, you can see it on head coach Adam Goodvin's face right there. He knows it's not Mason City beating the Bobcats tonight. While they have capitalized and made those plays, we can give them credit for that. At the end of the day, it's the Bobcats' mental errors that have really put them in the position to be down right now. Because if Mason City was honest with themselves, this should be a much bigger lead for them at the moment.
17-yard line is where they will take over as Zach Wilder, hopefully he is all right, but not putting a whole lot of pressure on that right knee of his as he got taken down awkwardly but leveled by Drew Hobart. And you go up 28-10, and this game is pretty much all but over as the Bobcats don't move the ball usually, and especially here tonight, in a hurry. They had an 8:55 drive in this third quarter and only came away with 3 as Mason City will run it on first down for a 7-yard pickup as Jameer Falls, quarterback, got down to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, we rave about how long of a drive it was, wearing down the defense of the Riverhawks, but then on the flip side, that gives you less time to make a comeback.
Yep.
When you fall into a
and
position
then when they
like
go
this.
in the end zone in just a couple minutes, it's it can get away from you in a hurry. Falls out of the shotgun on second down, flips it underhand to the near side to Hobart. He'll get around the edge, and it's 6.
Speed, speed, speed. That's what's been doing it for Mason City. They just have another gear that the Bobcats can't seem to switch to, and it's now showing up on the scoreboard.
And another Hobart touchdown as Drew Hobart comes to the near side. It's a 10-yard wide receiver pitch as he gets it from Falls right there and finishes it off, making it 27-10, PAT pending.
Now, we have seen the Bobcats score 3 touchdowns in a quarter. We're going to need some of those big plays if that's going to happen. But they've got just over a quarter now left here.
Cartered along on for the PAT, and the hold is good, and the kick is good through the uprights. It's now 28-10, 1:11 third quarter on KFJB-TV.
Brown Shoe Fit has a great selection of athletic footwear. Choose from New Balance, On, Keen, Echo, and much more. Brown Shoe Fit can find the right shoe for every occasion for both men and women, including dress shoes, casual shoes, work boots, and European footwear, carrying multiple sizes and widths to ensure the best fit for you. Their expert-friendly staff is available to give you a personalized experience and can find the right shoes for what you need. Brown Shoe Fit, downtown Marshalltown, with you every step of the way.
Third quarter, 28-10, a fumble by Zach Wilder and a 17-yard drive. Drew Hobart on the wide receiver pitch from his quarterback. Takes it in from 10 yards out, and Drew Hobart, and with his first touchdown of the night. Hard to believe it's just his first. He's been all over the field here tonight. And that extends the Riverhawk lead to 28-10 with 1:11 to go in the third quarter.
All of our focus has been how do we stop Drew Hobart. Maybe we forgot about Dane Hansen as well, who's been tearing up the Bobcats from the backfield.
Yeah, a couple rushing touchdowns for him here tonight. Century 21 kickoff is away. A high hopper down to the 25. Jacob Hayes will hold it and bring it in and gets short of the 35 and the 34-yard line as he's brought down there, and that's where the Bobcats will start this drive, trailing by 18.
Yeah, the Bobcats have a total of 176 yards on the ground, most of it coming from Tyler England at 110 yards today. He's had that big one of 46 yards. Niehaus, though, he's got 61 yards for the team here. Hasn't really broken away since the first couple in the first quarter there. Or excuse me, first half.
Cramping up a little bit. First time we've seen Gaston Ferris at the B-back. He is back this week for the Bobcats. Had a really nice 41-yard rushing touchdown. As the Bobcats pitch it to Drake Gersma on the slot back, and he's brought down back at the 30. It's a 4-yard loss. But Gaston Ferris played well against Washington in the scrimmage to begin the season before week 1. But there, Gersma, he's had no real luck here tonight for the Bobcats rushing-wise, as he has 2 yards on 3 carries.
Yeah, the difference trying to get to the outside for the Bobcats and the Riverhawks, it's speed.
It's not been there tonight for the Cats for the most part, except for one Niehaus run of 37 yards. There hasn't been many that have been broken for long distance that haven't been right up the middle. Hand off to Ferris. He'll cut it back at the numbers at the 30 and gets up to the 35-yard line as he had to kind of jump back inside as the defender was creeping in on him. So he'll gain back a few of those yards lost and brings up a long 3rd down and 7. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Things going in the wrong direction for the Cats in the second half as they're down 28-10 as we have the fourth quarter when we come back on KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Time for a scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank.
Yeah, we got some final scores rolling in here from Brooksy back at the KFJB studio. Final score, Collins-Maxwell 61, Meskwaki Settlement 6. Newton over Bondurant 48-13. Hey, my West Marshall Rolling Story prediction not too far off. West Marshall gets a victory 27-20. It's 28-14. That's
settle down. There's no draft. There's no DraftKings for high school. Zach.
Nevada over Ballard. They get the shutout 14-0. Ankeny also shuts out Roosevelt 49-0. Grundy over Dyke New Hartford.
3rd and 7. Bobcats drop back to pass. Niehaus eaten up in the backfield for a huge loss. Back to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 6. And the Bobcats special teams unit will come out. But as you were saying, the rest of scores.
Yeah, the last one I want to give, Gladbrook Rhinebeck over Kolonesko. Listen to this, 77-0. They just dominated Kolonesko tonight.
Riverhawks all over the Bobcats here in the second half as Riverhawks have scored each time they've had the football. A Dane Hansen 5-yard touchdown run, a Drew Hobart pass. They got him from 5 yards out on the last drive. Drayden Witt picks up the punt back at the 35-yard line, and he's running around the far side, gets some blocking now, cuts to the near side, and this thing is over. Here goes Witt. Touchdown on the punt return. Bobcats out of their lanes, and the Bobcats are out of the game. Homecoming has been a distraction like Coach feared maybe it would be. Penalties, miscues, and huge plays to the other side. It is a runaway for Mason City in the second half.
Yeah, wow. He got a nice bounce or two here from the punt, which was good, but he crosses the field once to start the punt return. Then he's able to cross it again. Just no containment by the Bobcats.
65-yard punt return for a touchdown by Drayden Witt.
See if you can get the extra point here to put them up by 25 here in the fourth quarter.
Snap's good. Hold is good. And the PAT just inside the left upright. It is good on the PAT by Carter Long. And it's now 35-10. Fourth quarter, 11:01 remaining on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects, from learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
and gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Drayden went with a huge play for Mason City, a 65-yard punt return for a touchdown. And the Bobcats down in a 25-point hole here. But the Bobcats, they are in chase mode here tonight. And Mason City is pulling away and not letting Marshalltown get back in this one. Yeah. Bobcats just not even really, I mean, you hate to say it, but just not challenging right now. I mean, guys are getting laid out, and it's one of those things that you got to have a little pride here tonight, not let this thing get any worse out of hand. But Bobcats in the second half just did not look like the team we've seen for the first couple of weeks.
No, not at all here.
Century 21 kickoff is away as the Bobcats will try to get out of the way, but it will stay in bounds. And Tyler England brought down as he gets over the 25-yard line as he was going to pick it up there after scrambling out of the way was Jordan Haynes. He thought that one might bounce out of bounds, but it did not. And so England was the man on the spot to get that one.
You never know how that football is going to bounce. It's always a risk to let it bounce and see what happens. But you're right, Brandon. The Bobcats have looked like not the team that we've seen in the first two games so far this season, especially here in the second half. It seems almost like they've been stuck in third gear while the Riverhawks have been in fifth gear, and then that also goes with their speed. The Bobcats have just been behind trying to catch them too all game with the speed and the entire team play. So, tough one tonight for the Bobcats.
That is for sure. And you definitely don't want it to get out of hand anymore. You'd like to put together a nice drive and have a little bit of a feel-good momentum play heading into the road game at Des Moines East next week. Bobcats will come out on the field. The officials were checking something over after that play as Kyle Smith was, getting word that the clock maybe had continued to run, so they reset the clock at 10:40 to go, fourth quarter. 35-10, Bobcats trailing. Handoff for the Bobcats, go right up the gut. Not brought down. Gaston Ferris stays on his feet, and he'll scramble ahead for a first down. He was the only man who didn't stop for either team, and he gets up to the 40, nearly the 40 at the 39-yard line is where he's finally brought down. But a good heads-up play to Gaston Ferris. He hit the back of his offensive lineman and stayed up on the pile and gets off and keeps running for the first.
Sometimes it pays to know the rules. He knew he wasn't down, so let's keep moving forward and try to get that first down for the Bobcats. It's good to see.
Ferris is the B-back.
Doesn't seem to know the plays very well.
Tyler England is the slot back. Niehaus is going to go to the air, and he's got pressure in his face. He's dropped for another sack. Back-to-back passing plays for the Bobcats and another sack. And this time making the play again. Sam Collins at that linebacker spot. He has been all over the field for Mason City. He has been kind of a one-man wrecking crew back there for them.
Yeah, Niehaus has seen a lot of him tonight, especially when he's dropped back to pass. He's taken a lot of hits when he's dropped back as well. So, the Bobcats, let's just get another first down here. Let's see what we can hang our hat on at the end of the game.
2nd and 15 after the sack. Niehaus is going to go to the air again to pass, and he'll find Jacob Hayes at the 40 and cut down right there by Drayden Witt. And so it'll be a gain of 7 yards up to the 41-yard line.
3rd and 8 here. Makes up about half the yardage after that sack on 2nd down.
9-10 and counting, fourth quarter.
Pulling the tight end off the field here.
Zane Moore and Kyle Smith will stay in at wide receiver. And splitting out into the slot is Tyler England. Lone slot back is Drake Gersma. A roll out to the far side of the field. Niehaus looks to pass. He'll come up short of his intended target, Zane Moore, at the first down sticks at the 50. And he was kind of getting hit as he released that ball. So I think that was kind of what hampered him from getting all the forward momentum on that pass.
Yeah, rolling out to his right. Should be able to plant and throw, but not when you got somebody tackling you at your ankles.
So it'll bring up 4th down and 8, and the Bobcat special teams unit is back out as we look at the State Farm Tyler Prashong Agency replay. And yeah, just getting hit right there at the last minute. Might have had enough on it if he didn't get hit to Zane Moore to move the chains.
It's good to see him make the throw, though, through the hit.
Punt is away. Aisha Galungu just nearly got that one away. Witt is going to let it hit at the 25, rolls inside the 20, and the Bobcats will finally pick it up at the 16-yard line, and that's where Mason City will have it with 8:35 to go in the fourth quarter.
You know, we said at the beginning of the game here, the Bobcats had the #1 rushing offense in the state, and that hasn't been tonight. 172 yards. Yeah, that might seem like not a lot, but not when you only got 5 yards of passing. No balance on the offense, and can't really get much going.
Yeah, Niehaus so far tonight just 1 of 5 through the air with that 5 yards. 110 on the ground for Tyler England. He's been Mr. Reliable back there in the B-back, but they've been kind of keying on that. Hobart an end-around play as he'll get up shy of the 20 at the 17-yard line, so it'll be a gain of just 1 yard, and it will be 2nd down and 9 for Mason City.
Well, one nice thing to see about England tonight, he's been playing in that slot. He was over at slot receiver, but that slot back role as well. So he is versatile. He can play in a lot of different positions, and also means he's smart. He understands the full field, the full play.
Bobcats with 3 defensive linemen in that 3-4. 2 wide receivers for Jameer Falls out of the shotgun. High snap brings it up, down, and it's a reverse. They give it again to LaCour as he'll come to the near side. Kyle Smith will try to tug him down, and finally 2 more Bobcats get in there to help make the tackle, including Ignacio Macias and Talon Halstead. And at the 25-yard line is where LaCour is brought down, so it's going to be 3rd down and a long 2. About 3 yards to go here on 3rd down. And they like that play, that play with Hanson, the running back, handing it off to the wide receiver coming back the other way.
Yeah, they've run that reverse play a few times. For the most part, the Bobcats haven't got too fooled by it, but they got a big run there to bring up a 3rd and short.
For the 5th time tonight, the Bobcats jump offside and give Mason City a free 1st down. And I just heard somebody go, in the crowd. Did you? I don't know if anybody. Oh, that was Dave? It was our producer, Dave. 7:10 in the 4th. Dave's usually pretty quiet during the game, but.
I mean, it would have been nice to see an entire second half without them jumping off sides. That would have been a positive thing to talk about in the film room tomorrow. Now it's just back to more mental errors.
Make the handoff to the wide receiver, give it to Hanson. He jukes out Kyle Smith around the numbers. He goes at the 40 to the 50. Drake Gersma ran over by Hanson, and finally a Bobcat ends the play
14.
At the 40-yard line. And again,
Logan
the
Hoffman.
only guy who's really wanted to tackle is Logan Hoffman tonight. I mean, he's had 3 really nice tackles now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, one positive here, I think we found a new linebacker in Logan Hoffman. He should be out there all the time because he's put the thump on a couple players tonight.
Yeah. I believe he's actually lined up a little bit more at a safety spot, filling in for Unga Pramana.
That's fine. You know, if we got a Cam Chancellor back there, that's always good to have.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line in Bobcat territory. Witt on a sweep to the near side, flies past Bobcats, breaks out of tackles, picks up a 1st down to the 26-yard line as he's finally brought down as Aishalungu will make the tackle late for the Bobcats, as well as getting in there, making the stop. Kobe Ruring, the freshman linebacker, helped make the stop.
They just seem to be on another level with their speed. They're finding the corners. They're getting around it on the outside. The Bobcats just seem to be a step slow tonight.
Excuse me, there's Gaston Ferris in there. He was in there at the defensive end spot that helped make that tackle. As I saw Aishalungu on the sideline. Timeout on the field by Mason City. 5:50 to go. 4th quarter. Cats down 25 on KFJB-TV.
In Iowa, we are fortunate to have a lot of opportunities to get involved in at our schools.
Athletics and activities have so many positive effects, from learning how to build relationships and healthy lifestyles,
and gain self-esteem and confidence.
Make participation a priority. You and your school will benefit.
Welcome back to Leonard Field. I'm Brandon Lewis. Zach Tomesch alongside me. Week number 3 of the high school football season. Bobcats 2-0, but that in definite danger as Mason City working deeper into Bobcat territory at the 25-yard line. LaCour gets the end around again. The handoff from Hansen goes around the numbers and picks up the first down. Logan Hoffman's in there to help make the tackle again, but it is a first down run for Chase LaCour, the junior tight end and linebacker, as he gets that end around play and picks up the first down for Mason City as they're in the Bobcat red zone.
Yeah, I remember my high school coach, one time we had a play that worked, and he said, we're going to run it until they stop it, and I think that's what they're doing with this reverse play.
Yeah, they've been chipping away 10, 15 yards at a time.
I think that's the 3rd time this drive they've run the reverse.
Jameer Falls still out there at quarterback with a 25-point lead. Handoff to Hansen, goes off right guard and cut under. And a good tackle in the backfield coming up is Giles Smith. We've seen him in reserve duty all year make good plays. And right there, Giles Smith wraps up Hansen for a 1-yard loss back to the 15. So it'll be 2nd and 11. He has 2 fumble recoveries. That's tied for first in 5A coming into the night.
Yeah, good to see a sophomore.
Younger players.
Yeah, yep. making some plays for the Bobcats here.
Hansen left of Falls. 2 wide receivers set, and the Bobcats for the 6th time tonight jump offside. You would think you would learn your lesson, but apparently not.
I mean, 16-year-old Zach didn't learn a lot of lessons quickly, so I can't harp on them too much.
But for the 6th time?
Yeah, I don't think I jumped off sides all that much, but there was also a reason I didn't play defense.
So a free 5-yard pickup brings them 2nd down and 6 after they lost 1 yard on first down. Ball now at the 10-yard line. Falls letting that time tick down here as we approach 4 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. High snap brings it down, fakes the handoff to Hansen. Wiggles out of an initial tackle that looked like Xavier Verdinez had it. Runs over a Bobcat into the end zone as Drake Gersma couldn't come up and make the tackle. Falls is in for a 10-yard touchdown with 4:04 4th quarter. It is now a blowout, 41-10.
Yeah, 40 points have been scored by the Bobcats in the first 2 games of the season. Now they allow 40 points on homecoming. It's not been a fun night for the Bobcats.
And it caps off a 73-yard drive to put this game away.
We'll see what the Bobcats can do on offense if they come back out with the starters, or see if they get some younger players a little action here tonight on homecoming.
Carter Long puts in the PAT. It's now 42-10. 4th quarter, 4:04 remaining in the football game on KFJB-TV. Pick up your 2025 Marshalltown Bobcat football roster t-shirt at AdletEngraving24.com. That's AdletEngraving24.com. Or stop by Adlet Engraving in Screen Print 307 Riverside in Marshalltown. Good luck, Bobcats. Have Van Wyck Wood Builders design and build the storage shed you need. So many different options to choose from. Van Wyck Wood Builders, just 5 miles south of I-80 in Grinnell on Highway 146. Online at VanWyckWoodBuilders.com.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by McGregor's Furniture and Mattress. Quality furniture for every room in your home. Sandvik Enterprises of Marshalltown. Let them deliver for you. Scooters of Marshalltown. Amazing people, amazing drinks. And Sports Plus. SportsPlusTherapy.com.
Sights of 13th Street in Marshalltown, 42-10 up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard. Bobcats trailing with 4:04 to go in the football game. Century 21 real estate team. Kickoff is away. It's out of bounds on the far side out at the 25-yard line. We'll see if the Cats make them re-kick this one. I would imagine they would, as Tyler England and Drake Gersma are back to return for the Bobcats. No, the Bobcats will just take the ball at the 35-yard line, and that's where they will start with it.
Yeah, what was
Mason City was heading back, though. They thought they were going to make him re-kick it.
It was Smitherman. He was hurt on the previous kickoff.
I believe so. Yeah, when he was trying to block, and then
we haven't seen his helmet on the sideline here the rest of the game. He's been hanging out.
Unga Pramana was also roughed up earlier tonight. We have not seen him return for the Bobcats.
Those are two playmakers they haven't had in the second half here that, may have been able to swing the favor in the Bobcats.
Jamison Niehaus at quarterback, hands off on the slot, back and around to
that was England,
and he's back to the line of scrimmage, maybe about a gain of 1. So 2nd down and 9 as we're under 4 minutes to play fourth quarter.
I like seeing Travis England in different positions because
or Tyler England.
Tyler, excuse me.
Because he probably knows Travis though.
Probably. So you can change it up later in the year. If he's getting stuffed up the middle, we can move him to a slot back and try and get him to the outside and use that speed. So it's nice to see that he's got that ability.
Gaston Ferris is the B-back. 2 slot backs. Zane Moore is split out to the far side of the field. And they'll come to the near side. And the slot back will get the handoff. And, boy, there's some speed to burn here for Declan Green. Fights off a tackle at the 35. He's going to be tackled out of bounds at the 15. How about that? We haven't seen Declan Green a whole lot out of the slot back, but he comes to the near side. And that's a huge game for the Bobcats, as some of the reserves are in now for Mason City with their 42-10 lead, as Declan Green with the run to the near side found a bunch of room to work with.
I'm sure the 2 numbers that were on their board was number 1 and number 6 for the Bobcats, and when both of them are going to the far side and Declan Green's going the other way, I think they were all focused on 1 and 6, not 9 running with the ball.
Declan Green stays in at slot back as well as England, and they'll hand it off to Gaston Ferris. He'll go off of left tackle and drug down at the 15-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3 yards off the left side of the offensive line.
Yeah, our chart here says Gaston is 5'7". I think that's pretty generous for him out there. He is low, but he's got his shoulders low and he keeps those legs moving. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, he's a load to bring down, that is for sure. Gaston Ferris here tonight, 3 carries for 19 yards. Bobcats at 241 on the ground after that long run by Declan Green of 57 yards to get the Bobcats in the Effington Heating and Cooling red zone. We're not comfortable until you are. Ferris stays in there, and he'll get the handoff as they brought Declan Green in motion. It gets down to the 10-yard line, just shy of it at the 11, and driven back, and it will bring up 3rd down.
There's another 3 yards for him. Lowering his shoulder, taking the ball. Where can I get to? Now, he can't fall forward as far as other players, but
yeah,
those legs keep going.
3rd down and 5 now. Ball on the near side hash. Bobcats trailing 42-10 fourth quarter. We're now under 2 minutes to go here at Leonard Cole Field. Niehaus underneath center brings England in motion. Pitches out to him to the far side of the field. Cuts it back inside. We see a flag fly as England gets the first down inside the 5. Tackled at the 4-yard line, but might be coming back here. That's not a spot you want to see a flag flying from, and holding is the call on the Bobcats. So on 3rd and 5, they were going to have 1st and goal, but brought back on the penalty.
Yep, just added to the chart. Put it on the list. More mental errors here, even with 1:40 left in the game. This will be the topic of conversation, I imagine, this next week. A lot of practice on the defensive line of watching the ball, not listening to the snap count.
England, though, with a nice cutback there inside. He knew he didn't have it to the edge, but found room to work in the middle. 90 seconds to go on homecoming night for the Bobcats. England out in the flat. They don't target him. A deep pass to the back corner of the end zone to Kyle Smith. It's incomplete with 1:21 to go in the fourth quarter. It'll bring up 4th down. They were looking for the long strike. There is a flag down on the field.
It's going to be pass interference on the defense here.
So Kyle Smith was looking to go to the back of the end zone. He got the feed from his quarterback in Jamison Niehaus. Overshot at the intended target, but maybe helped out with that holding penalty. We'll see if it does move. Or the pass interference, excuse me. So it's a 10-yard penalty. It's not going to give the Bobcats a 1st down, but you'd rather do 3rd and 4 yards than 3rd and
14.
Ferris will stay in at the B-back as Declan Green and Tyler England are the slot backs. Zane Moore, Kyle Smith at wide receiver.
They pulled Kyle Smith way in. Is he going to break to the outside? Is this another passing route to the corner?
Niehaus checks out the defense, puts a man in motion in Declan Green. Rolls out to the far side of the field. He's got pressure. He beats the pressure, and he dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Jamison Niehaus, as he gets in from 11 yards out for the rushing touchdown, his first touchdown of the night.
Yeah, it's nice to at least make this look a little more respectable here. Getting potentially 17 points on the board. Niehaus scored a touchdown now in every game so far this season, so that's got to feel good. Here we can see it on the replay. Nothing open. The end crashes in. Lets him get to the outside and just take it into the end zone.
And before the PAT comes, we have a timeout on the field. So
by the Bobcats.
Yeah, by the Bobcats here. So maybe not the personnel grouping they had hoped for out there on that PAT attempt, and maybe they thought, well, we might go for two. There's the baby powder getting spread around here at Leonard Cole Field.
Oh, that's not fog.
It is not fog.
Okay. The students having fun with homecoming, the LeBron James baby powder toss to start the game. Was not expecting that. Kind of a surprise for everybody.
65-yard drive for the Bobcats.
You know, we've talked a lot of doom and gloom. You know, you look at the score, 42 to 16, 17 potentially, but there are a few things to hang your hat on. That long drive to start the third quarter, there were some good things that happened on offense, so it's not all doom and gloom at the end of the night.
Aaron Zambrano on for the PAT as Kyle Smith puts the hold down and the PAT is through, and it makes it 42 to 17. Fourth quarter with 1:15 to go, and I know a lot of final scores pouring in here late in our game as we started at 7:30 with homecoming in the freshman game. Let's get a scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank.
Yeah, I got a couple news scores for you. Final Dowling over DCG 27 to nothing. You got a final Ottumwa 35, Des Moines East 6. Final Maxwell Collins 61 over Meskwaki Settlement 6. Newton over Bondurant 48 to 13. West Marshall 27, Roland Story 20. And we do have a final from Dylan Doe's out there on the West Coast for East Marshall. They end up losing to Northland 28 to 13.
Got to give a shout out to number 11 right there on your screen, Deegan Grant, my stepson.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
Yeah, he had a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and it was enough to beat Mason City in the freshman game 8-6.
Yeah, some have called him the future Bobcat quarterback. No pressure, Deegan. No pressure, buddy.
He played well tonight.
He did.
Let's stop there. He played well tonight, and he played well last week with a couple touchdown throws. So
now, is he having fun?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, when you're scoring touchdowns, I mean, are you
I don't
not
know about
having
that.
fun?
I didn't score a lot of touchdowns.
I've never scored a touchdown either. So 115, touchdown in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My family. All that good stuff.
Watching your stepson score, that's got to be a touchdown in life.
That is, for sure.
Takes a knee there at the 8-yard line.
Yeah, so the kick return as DeSabian Portis, the sophomore wide receiver. I wonder if he's related to Clinton Portis, one of my favorite Denver Broncos of all time.
Miami Hurricane.
Yeah. So the kneel is down back there on the kickoff return with 1:13. I imagine Mason City will just knee this one away and get the victory to pick up their first victory of the season. They started with tough opponents. Fort Dodge is really good. They're not exceptional at the 4A level, but very good. And then they played a really good 3A team last week in Gilbert and lost to them. And then they beat a 5A opponent tonight in the Marshalltown Bobcats, suffering their first loss of the season as backups are in for Mason City. As they'll run to the near side, and out of bounds goes the running back in Carter Long as he gets the carry. Actually, no, that's not 20. That's 26. Alistair Palmares, the senior running back, comes to the near side, and he is pushed out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, remember my final game my senior year, they threw us seniors in at the last minute or whatever, and I almost was like, Coach, I'm good. I don't need to shower after the game. I don't need to get out there and get sweaty. It's just 60 seconds. No, I went out there.
Quarterback Jackson Hummel now, the junior, at 5'8" for Mason City.
Let's get an offside.
And the snap, and he'll hand it off to the far side stretch play, and making the tackle. It'll be Kobe Roaring, as getting the handoff again there was Palmaris, the running back.
You can see some backups in for the Bobcats as well here on the last defensive stand as the clock is now ticking down. 45 seconds left in this game.
Yep.
3rd and 2 here.
You saw number 50 there. You see last week Hunter Forrest played. He gave some good minutes in that Waterloo East game, as well as on the defensive line, Holden Rice at defensive end. Had a few nice plays last week.
We should call a timeout.
Mason City's running probably one last play here. Not a kneel down.
So 3rd down and 3, and they'll stretch it to the near side. Palmaris will have it again. He has a first down. He's over the 20 as he dives up to the 23-yard line, and the final seconds will tick off this one here tonight. And our final score, 42-17, as our final seconds will dwindle down. And the Bobcats will drop to 2-1 on the season. And the Mason City Riverhawks will improve to 1-2 on the year, as both teams will meet at midfield. Coming up, it is our locker room reports, as we'll have our post-game chat with head coach Adam Goodvin. We'll also have our Lily May sweet play of the game. We'll run over our final highlights and stats here tonight. Homecoming ends on a sour note, 42-17. Bobcats fall to the Riverhawks. This is Bobcat football on News Talk 1230 AM 93.9 FM and right here on KFJB-TV.
YMCC, competitive athletics, affordable tuition, on-campus living, online courses plus 2 campus locations, unique programs, career training, small classes, short-term hands-on training. Choose MCC.
Good call tonight, man. You too? You think what I'm thinking? Let's go to Legends for a Bobcat burger.
Hi, guys. What are we hungry for today?
I think we're going to do 2 Bobcat burgers. Whether it's pregame or postgame.
Or during the game, it's Legends American Grill in Marshalltown.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown. With their extensive inventory, you're sure to make a winning selection when you shop McGregor's for your bedroom, living room, and dining room furnishings. McGregor's has the right play for every room in your home. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is proud to be your locally owned and operated furniture store since 1896 and very proud to support Bobcat Athletics again this season. McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown, open 7 days a week.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, powered by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Back at Leonard Cole Field as the Bobcats fall tonight, 42-17 is our final score. Let's go over our final stat line of the night tonight. Bobcats had quite a few rushing yards late in this game, but a few backups when it happened. Jamison Niehaus, the lone touchdown of the second half for the Marshalltown Bobcats with 1:15 to go in the fourth quarter. 11-yard rush on a 65-yard drive for the Cats, their final score of the night. As again, they fall 42-17. Jamison Niehaus tonight, 61 rushing yards on 12 carries. Tyler England with 111 yards on the ground on 16 carries. Declan Green had a 57-yard run, as you see here on KFJB-TV. That one came late here in the fourth quarter. And 23 yards on the ground by Gaston Ferris on 4 carries on the night. Bobcats roll up 256 on the ground, just 5 through the air as Jamison Niehaus went 1 of 5 through the air for those 5 yards. And that 5-yard pass was caught by Jacob Hayes. Meanwhile, on the other side of things for Mason City, as they go to 1-2 on the season with a victory, they roll up 253 rushing yards and 118 passing yards here tonight. Jameer Falls didn't pass a lot, but when he did, he was effective. He goes 11 of 12 through the air for 118 yards, threw a couple of touchdown passes as well. A lot of those passes, though, were easy completions, just those pitches out front to his wide receiver. Jameer Falls did have a rushing touchdown, 6 rushes for 53 yards tonight. Leading rusher Dane Hansen, 14 carries, 122 yards on the ground here tonight. Again, Mason City 253 on the ground. Leading receiver was Drew Hobart. A lot of those were those pitch sweeps to the wide receiver, 97 yards on 6 receptions. Ty Sanchez-Evans, the tight end, had a touchdown reception to go along with his 3 receptions for 29 yards here tonight. Bobcats got a field goal in the second half. It was by Aaron Zambrano, 23-yarder. Bobcats went on an 8-minute and 55-second drive to start the second half, and it made it 14-10, but he kind of felt like, boy, Bobcats really needed 6, and then Mason City punches right back with a touchdown after that, and it was all Mason City. They had a punt return by Drayden Witt for 65 yards. Drew Hobart had a pitch from Falls for a touchdown. Falls later had that rush in the second half. It was just 14-7 at halftime, and it was all Mason City in the second half. As you see Witt on his punt return for a touchdown on KFJB-TV. 42-7 the final. You're locked into the Locker Room Report, all presented by Wells Fargo Advisors in Marshalltown.
You look forward to retirement as your time to relax. But now that it's here, turns out relaxation is overrated and you'd rather get back to work with an idea of your own. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement plans change course, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Bobcat Athletics on KFJB-TV is powered by State Farm, Tyler Pichong Agency, mtownproud.com, Wayward Social, the place for bowling, games, food, and more. And Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown, helping you pursue your financial goals.
Welcome back into the Locker Room Report on KFJB-TV. It is now time for our Sweet Play of the Game, presented by Lily Mae Chocolates. Handmade, hand-dipped since 1939, always open at lilymaechocolate.com. Well, it was the opening play for the first time for the Bobcats touching the football. Mason City went down the field and scored on the first drive of the night, but then Aiden Smitherman answered for our Lily Mae Sweet Play of the Game as he took it 85 yards to the house for a touchdown. On the kickoff return, came up the near side and was able to power past the Mason City Riverhawks just past their outstretched arms and get it in for our Lily Mae Sweet Play of the Game. It was 7-7 at that point. Dan Hansen would run in a touchdown in the first quarter, make it 14-7, and that's where we stood at halftime here in our matchup. But again, 42-17, the final score tonight against the Mason City Riverhawks. We will take a quick timeout, and we will come back with our post-game chat with head coach Adam Goodvin. This is Bobcat Football. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Come to Opa Grill in Marshalltown for made fresh family recipes handed down for generations. Treat yourself to gyros, pasticcio, Italian pasta dishes, burgers, salmon, homemade soups, and fresh salads. Enjoy a nice glass of wine or a cold glass of beer. Opa Grill has a great variety of American, Greek, and Italian dishes. Something to make everyone in your party say Opa. Open 11 to 8 Monday through Friday, 11 to 3 Saturday, closed Sundays. At the corner of Boone and Center Streets in Marshalltown. DoorDash delivery available. Opa.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, powered by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Back in on the locker room report presented by Wells Fargo Advisors. We now send it down to Zach Tomesch, standing by with head coach Adam Goodvin.
With head coach Adam Goodvin, Coach, I think it comes down to two words: mental errors tonight by the Bobcats, and that's really kept it close in the first half. But that's really what kind of broke it away there in the second half. Is that what was talked about in the huddle after the game?
Yeah, that and our lack of physicality. I thought all night long we just took punches and didn't punch back.
Yeah, and so the other thing I kind of noticed here, it seemed like the Bobcats were stuck in third gear while the Riverhawks were in fifth gear, and even with the speed, they just seemed to be a little bit faster in catching those edges.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the mental stuff. We weren't where we were supposed to be tonight, mentally and physically both. And if you don't have those two things in the game of football, you're not going to be in a good position.
Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. There was that long drive to start the third quarter. There's got to be a lot of things that you can take away from that. Would like to cap it off with a touchdown, still get points, though. I mean, something to take away there.
Yeah, there were multiple other times where we needed to get the ball in the end zone. We didn't, and that opening drive of the second half was what we need more of. We just didn't have the football a whole lot in the first half, and we put our defense in tough positions. And we're happy that we scored on that kickoff return, but we just didn't put it all together.
Yeah, so what do you need to do in this next week to refocus? We got Des Moines East, going to be traveling down to Des Moines. What's going to kind of be the focus then to get them back on track?
I think effort. I think effort and physicality, and then our mental preparation going into football games. For whatever reason, we didn't change anything in our preparation this week. I don't know if it was home. I don't know. I'm not going to make excuses for that, but it's tough with 16, 17, 18-year-olds, but we got to figure it out. And go out next Friday and be better mentally, physically, and execution-wise.
Yeah, well, Coach, take the weekend off, review the film, and look to refocus next week. Des Moines East is coming up, 7 days away. So thanks for the time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Back to you, Brandon.
All right, thanks, Zach, as we will come back and we'll let you know who our athletes of the week were. As, I tell you what, cross-country team off to a good start and a great performance last week for Bobcat Athletics. You're watching Bobcat Football on KFJB-TV.
You're an empty nester closing in on that retirement property. Chances are your plans didn't include mom moving in, but life happens and you do the right thing. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When retirement means caring for yourself and a loved one, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East Southridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, powered by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Back in on the Locker Room Reports. Now time for Athletes of the Week, presented by Opa Grill in Marshalltown. Greek and traditional favorites, all you have to say is Opa. Well, last week for the Marshalltown Bobcats, Harper Wilson for the volleyball squad had 8 aces, 4 digs, and 14 kills. Had a nice week. Helped lead the Cats to a 3-0 win against Hoover last Tuesday. Bobcats fell to Solon and Waverly Shell Rock in the APGAR tournament on last Thursday, but played really well. She also had a pretty nice game against Ames and a 3-0 loss on Tuesday. And for our male athlete of the week last week, Preston Johnson, a record-setting performance. He ran a MHS school record time of 14:55, set a course and meet record over at the Iowa State cross-country course at the Kirk Schmaltz 5K Invitational, as he finished in first place as Preston Johnson, our male athlete of the week last week. All brought to you by Opa Grill, as they award a $25 gift certificate to the male and female athletes of the week, and Adlet Engraving and Screen Print also award a T-shirt, which you can hop onto our KFJB-TV Facebook page and see that, as I was able to check in with Harper Wilson as well as Kate Sandvik and showed off those T-shirts, which a pretty cool thing that we've been able to add this year to our Athletes of the Week. Time now for a scoreboard update, all brought to you by Central State Bank. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you. Locations in Ames State Center and in West Des Moines. A lot of finals pouring in here tonight, Zach.
Yeah. Thanks to Brooks back at the KFJB studio. We have some finals coming in. Say Dell over Des Moines North, 24-20. Waukee Northwest over Iowa City High, 49-13. BCLUW shuts out Lake Mills 50-0.
Baxter 60-0 over Melcher Dallas. North Polk tops ADM 38-37. What a game that looks like that was last night. PCM a close one over Williamsburg 23-21. And Dowling tops DCG 27-0, shutting them out. Ottumwa 35-6 over Des Moines East. That's who the Bobcats will play next week is Des Moines East. Collins Maxwell over Meskwaki Settlement 61-6. Newton tops Bondurant. Boy, that one got out of hand. Newton 48-13. They're playing well right now. I believe Newton's 3-0 on the season. And West Marshall 27-20 over Roland Story. Nevada tops Ballard 14-0. Ankeny 49-0. They shut out Roosevelt tonight. Grundy Center is a winner tonight over Dike New Hartford. Wow, 35-7 there. Story Gladbrook Rhinebeck 77-0 over Colonesco. A final there tonight as they start to pour in around the state. Up on the Marshalltown Hy-Vee scoreboard, 42-17. Bobcats fall to 2-1 with the loss. Mason City picks up their first victory of the season, and they're now 1-2. This is the Locker Room Report. You're watching KFJB-TV.
Some say life is like a road trip. Is it a coincidence Scooter's Coffee is a drive-thru? We don't think so. Whether you need a coffee while you enjoy the view, to just get you through the long stretch, or to refuel between stops, Scooter's Coffee is there, brewing up delicious coffee, espresso blenders, smoothies, iced drinks, and more, with the convenience of a drive-thru so you can stay on the road and enjoy the ride. So go ahead, scoot on around. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters in Marshalltown.
The KFJB-TV Locker Room Report, powered by Wells Fargo Advisors of Marshalltown.
Transportation for today's game on KFJB-TV is provided by Carl Auto Group in Marshalltown. Carl is your dealer for life. Well, you had a chance to talk with head coach Adam Goodvin in his 9th year. No stranger to, unfortunately, losing to Mason City, as now a 4-game losing streak against the Riverhawks. I don't know what it is about Mason City. I know, one, they get up for this game. They love this game. But he's right. The physicality was just not matched. We saw that on that punt return. Guys were getting laid out. And it was just not one of those things here. Your mind might be distracted by homecoming, but it does kind of, unfortunately, ruin a little bit of the momentum. You started out 2-0, and you felt like, can this team get really going, get off to a 4-0 start, take down Des Moines East next week, and feel good about that really tough stretch of your schedule, Kennedy, Waukee, DCG, Waukee, Waterloo West, and Dowling Catholic to end the year?
Yeah. Hopefully they can refocus here and get a big win over Des Moines East to try and get back on track before the schedule really does get tough towards the end of the season. Like you said, he didn't have much to say. Focus, mental errors, and physicality. That's really what it came down to.
And sometimes it can be, that simple.
I think it really was.
Yeah.
This should have been a 65-17 game. 25 points seems too close with how many errors the Bobcats made.
Yeah, and 42-7 the final score here tonight up on the Marshalltown.
17. Let's make sure it's 17.
What did I say?
7.
Well, you said 25, and that's not 25.
25 difference.
No, it's not. Am I right?
17 plus 25 equals 42.
It's 30. No. We scored the. Yeah, he's right. Never mind.
I was on the math B team in 6th grade, Brandon.
Until we scored the 17. Yeah, you're right. Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to question your math skills.
It's all right.
My math skills are not good. It's getting late.
Let's wrap it up, late. Huh? We've both been up since like 4 in the morning.
All right, let's check out what's coming up next week on KFJB-TV, as we've got volleyball, Marshalltown at Waterloo East coming up next Tuesday night at 7:15, and then Bobcat Live at Wayward Social next Thursday at 7, and then Bobcat Football is back on the air on News Talk 1230 AM and 93.9 FM, and here on KFJB-TV next Friday. 6 o'clock is the pregame show, 7 o'clock is kickoff. Thanks so much to our KFJB-TV crew here tonight on stats. Excuse me. They got a bug fly into my mouth there. Xavier Does on stats. Jeff Brooks back at our radio studios. Elijah Bond, Keith Stewart on camera coverage. For our producer, David Braga. And alongside me tonight, Zach Tomesch. I'm Brandon Lewis. Have a great rest of your Friday night. Again, the Cats fall to 2-1 with a 42-17 loss. A 25-point victory for Mason City
great
here
math,
tonight.
Brandon.
You've been watching your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
Today's game on KFJB-TV is sponsored by First Rate Real Estate, Adland Engraving and Screen Print Company, Assured Partners, Brown's Shoe Fit, Central State Bank, your Marshalltown Dairy Queens, Eye Care Associates, Hy-Vee Marshalltown, Legends American Grill, Lennox Employees Credit Union, Marshalltown Area Chamber, Marshalltown Community College, Marshalltown School District, McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, Sandvik Enterprises, Scooters, Marshalltown, Sports Plus, State Farm, Tyler Pashong Agency, Wayward Social, Wells Fargo Advisors,